level within Gateway.
Within some parameters.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
The consensus, yeah. Same.
Question. If we're doing this all as a result of the issues of trying to generate revenue on the soccer, I'm totally opposed to it, if that's the reason. The issue down on West Links Drive is nothing but a farce. We got signs down there making perfectly clear no parking. And you might as well, they're ignoring it. They're queuing up, they're out on the highway, not a thing has changed. My question is, why don't we start charging them and we go down, and if to sit there and queue, you gotta pay. You gotta pay.
I don't know if you
We
can do
can't
that,
fine them,
no,
but we can make them pay a fee, because if we're gonna charge people coming out here to park here, what's the difference of them parking down there in an illegal place?
In double checking the statutes after, FWC can issue citations for the no parking areas on those roads. Otherwise, are allowed to, it's authorized to, it's proper to, it's legal to. Yes, Chelsea and I had that conversation. They can. Law enforcement is authorized to double
On
check.
county roads?
It talks about streets that are open to the public generally. So those roads are, even though they're not county roads, they're district roads, public roads open to the public to travel. And so FWC, the SO, any highway patrol if retained can issue citations for violating the no parking traffic control devices. Yes.
Do we need a rule to
No.
implement it?
No,
So
that's
us,
state statute. We've hired them to do that.
us making the decision to put no parking down there, they can charge. We can't. They can charge a fine.
No,
They can issue a
They can
citation.
issue a ticket, no different than Lee County can issue a ticket. That money, the revenue does not come to us, the revenue goes to the Southwest for FWC. Yeah.
That doesn't bother me
But
so
they-
much. It's just the
law
fact that
enforcement-
it's a deterrent.
Law enforcement can issue no parking tickets or citations to those individuals who park in the no parking areas.
What do we do if they won't
They're
do it?
totally different issues. I mean, we're talking about parking here.
Well, I think what Ed was trying to say is, if
I
parking, if
agree with
we're
you
talking
on
about
that.
parking, let's look at it from a gateway policy.
So what they're doing now is illegal,
But
period.
that's a no parking, I think Ed was trying to say, we convert that from a no parking to a
But
parking, but we're really talking about citations. for no
Yeah,
parking.
that's not a parking facility, it's a road.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
And yes, we are trying to cover some revenue for the soccer fields. Absolutely. That doesn't help that if we don't get the money.
Well, I understand that, but from the discussions that I had with Chelsea and Laura a week or so ago, this dog isn't hunting. They haven't got the money. They aren't going to be able to meet. We're talking about 250% increase in the rates.
And
That's what we came up with.
Who's not
We
going to
looked
meet
at
it?
it the other
The
day and
soccer
went through
leagues?
this thing inside, outside, upside down.
Who's not going to meet it? The soccer leagues?
Any of them. They don't have the money.
But that's a decision on them, and that's a decision on them. Like, so we provide the service at a cost, right? That we think is fair and reasonable, and that to cover what we agree that we think that's what should be covered. So not all of the residents at Gateway have to pick up that tab. So that's the cost. So they have the right to either move to a different facility, right? They have the right to make maybe a smaller profit on what they're having. Because when I went and looked back at the growth of what they're charging year over year, they're raising those fees.
Well, this will be something that we would assess annually, and you assess it based on 2 or 3 things. One is what is the amount of the revenue that we're generating as a district from all sources, parking, concession stand, events, facility leases. So what's our revenue, and then what's our expenses? And then we figure out, what our plan is for the next year. And the expenses is something that I know staff is working on, being more efficient in some areas, optimizing, whatever. Then we've got, capital as well. There's improvements. So the way I'm looking at it is, I don't know if it's different, but we try to generate as much revenue as we can. And we do it organically through parking and some other things. And then what we charge for the fields is based on our target of what our what the percentage is that we want to come from from our revenue as opposed to our assessments.
Correct.
And we're going to have to look at that annually because it could change. Like we might have a really good revenue year from our, from some sources, and costs may go down. So it might be different next year versus this year. We may keep it the same. We may adjust it. But I look at it as let's look at revenue opportunities, go down that path, and then at the same time we come up with what we need to charge for leases and what we think is reasonable for someone to pay. And as much as I'd love to get to what our goal is, we may not be able to just get there overnight because we might price people out of the market.
And we said we're content with 50% instead of getting to up to
Yeah,
75.
whatever it is.
I'm fine with that because then it kind of gives them a cap too. So they will know what our expenses are when we do our budget. And before we even set the price or readjust it every year if need to, they know what the cost is.
But we're not going to know what our revenue potential is, let's say, from parking until after about a year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. like
Of
in a
trying
year.
it out. We'll
Yeah.
have to adjust it to certain timeframes, and we figure out where the opportunities
Yes,
are.
Tony.
So
It
Ed, I
hasn't been
think,
brought up, but I guess, has the board thought about whether or not to also charge parking at the commons when the new facilities are built?
next.
Okay, because right now, the way this draft is set up,
It's-
you'll have a map that will show the parking facilities, and
The
those are
zone.
they do not yet exist. So that would be amended in the future. We'd have to
Well, and
amend
there's
it.
the opportunity of the fun park as well.
Well, we should have a parking policy and the ability
10
to have a
parking
standard
spaces,
across Gateway, and in some zones,
Most places have maps,
yeah,
looking at all the other
there's parking
districts.
zones and
Yes,
times.
they have maps and they show parking zones and times.
But it should be inclusive of all of Gateway, the opportunity to do
So we
this.
could put the map of all potential district facilities on here. And then that way, if we choose to have those parking
But up
fees
for-
at
yeah.
that time, we can just quickly implement that. It's not a
Great,
big,
that's
not a
fine.
big deal. As long as they're on there, then we're covered. But if they're not, then we,
And we have to amend it in the future, yes.
yes.
And I do understand Ed's point, but I will say this, 3 years ago and 5 years ago, and I know that's something that Ed has brought up multiple times, and I did not feel that the majority of the users were outside residents, right? I did not. So I was almost, I didn't agree. But given that Tim did reach out to us and I asked that email to be forwarded to the board, 25% of the residents, of the users are Gateway residents today
In Flag.
in Flag.
Okay.
And then I know Mark was here. I know I asked the day of the meeting, I asked in 2 emails, Chelsea asked this morning, I said, please reach out again. That concerns me, the lack of willingness to provide that information. So then while I don't want to make the decision I want to make the decision what's right and what we need as a district to stop the residents subsidizing for this expense, right? But not with the fear that we're going to lose those leagues, because we may, but we may get somebody else when they see the condition that fields are going to be. So I don't want to make a decision because somebody's pushing me against the wall and say, you're not going to get anything better than that. So we have to try. We've been on top of the fence this for years. I was very shocked when I saw that the usage for Gateway residents on what was provided, it's very low. So absolutely 100%, the residents of Gateway are extremely subsidizing this particular amenity. And I don't think
And
it's
I don't
fair.
know what Gateway Soccer's percentages are, but I know historically they've been pretty close to what Flag has been, give or take 5 or
Yeah.
10%. So if
That makes it work.
Flag's at 25, I'm really shocked by that number. But again, the demographics in Gateway has changed pretty drastically in the last 5 to 7 years. We don't have as many younger kids or families as we
Your
used
boy, your
to.
family's getting
And
As
older.
they get older, right? They get older.
Your
Well, that's
family.
why it was important for Mark to give us that information. And then I go with the third-party company that has no way and care. Last tells us that 15, using the data he used, he said 15%, which I was like, no, it's too low. But when, I have to go with numbers. So the parking contract that we said, looking at this data, it's about 15% usage of Gateway residents. I was like, wow.
That was when-
No, he said 15.
Oh, okay.
And then Tim said 25. So 15 and 25 it's nowhere near 50%, you
Well,
know?
and I'll just add on to that. I don't know if this is something we should be concerned about, but, and I haven't looked at the numbers because it's difficult to pull out just Gateway and the census data. But we need to look at our demographics, because is there a reason why we've had such a dramatic drop in our families in Gateway? Is that concerning at all? That we are not attracting young families in, if that's the case, we look at the census data, is there a reason why we're not doing that? Which I would find surprising now that we've got schools here in Gateway. You'd think it'd be more attractive, and it may be, but and I don't have the data to represent it. But like for the club, just as an example, I don't know what their numbers are as far as their family memberships and if it's declined or increased over the years. But I was surprised by that. I mean, I know because I have kids and I participate in some of these leagues. Again, they're getting older, and I don't see the numbers that we used to see 15 years ago. But things are cyclical. But I don't know if we should be concerned at those numbers, and maybe we should look at the data to see.
Well, I think Ed brings up a valid point in that it's possible that we would price out our existing people who are renting the field right now, but also looking around and judging the number of other facilities available and whatever, I think we will readily find other people to rent the property.
And I agree
so I think
100%
we
with that.
need to look at the ground over there, and since it seems like in listening to discussions, this board and also staff have determined that fields, playing fields, are the highest and best use for that piece of ground over there. I think we have to look at it as an amenity that we don't subsidize, that pays for itself. And are the current people who are renting, is it possible we are going to price out a couple of them? We may, we may not, I don't know. But I think there are other people willing to pay higher prices if they get a quality product, a quality field.
Well, and I'll tell you too, if these numbers are accurate, and it's tough for me to say this, it challenges our thought from, let's say, 10 years ago, which is the non-gateway versus gateway, that there's a value in both. And actually the benefit of non-gateway to gateway residents, there is a value. And what I mean by that is when it used to be 50-50, even 40-60, the non-gateway, those numbers allowed the leagues to have robust divisions and even, let's say, soccer as an example, from playing 11 aside versus if you don't have the numbers and you're playing 7 aside, that's a different game, you know. So the benefit in the past is the non-gateway participants would help increase the quality and the ability for the leagues to have more age groups, more teams, better quality. If we're looking at now that number is 25, is that 25% gateway residents? Is 75% of the participation, is that still benefiting the 25% of gateway residents? And I don't know the answer to that.
One of the things too is if you chose to implement this parking, and if we chose to do the free parking for a resident, it would be no different than coming in and getting their free pool pass. But we would have numbers, right? We wouldn't rely on a third party to give us what they project or estimate to be their gateway residents utilizing these fields. Because I can promise you that in the event that this did get implemented, the residents that play at these fields are going to take advantage of the perk that they get of being a gateway resident and coming and getting a free parking pass.
Yeah, but part of that perk is they're paying for half of the facility. It's, you know,
Correct.
it's really not much of a
But
perk,
what she's
but
saying
it's
is that
something.
we'll get the data for, like, a true data for that.
But I think that's a reasonable benefit. 'Cause no matter what, they're still going to be paying for it.
Exactly.
If you live on Fort Myers Beach, do you get
You
parking
get-
privileges?
Yes,
on Fort Myers
you
Beach?
pay a $25, I think they just upped it to $50 a year. If you are a resident, you pay a $50 residential parking permit.
Top of your taxes.
Yes.
Okay, so there are cases where you're paying in addition to what you're already paying for. So I like the idea, but at the same time, it kind of defeats our purpose of trying to generate revenue. And if we're looking at nominal fees. I don't know.
But if the numbers are what they say they are, we're talking 15 to potentially
Yeah, well, but I think the
25%.
perk would be if you this is a hypothetical. We will charge for parking during league hours. So, let's say if it's 6 to 9 o'clock Monday through Friday and 8 to 2 on Saturday, those are league hours. That's when we charge for parking. If you come at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday and you're a resident, I don't think you
So
need to be
here's the
parking
thing, we're
there.
gonna create something that
Because- hold on, one
we
second.
can enforce.
No, but one thing, because if you're not a Gateway resident, you shouldn't be here
Using
on a
it.
Tuesday at 12 o'clock unless you have a permit or something along those lines. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a,
But you're not going to
But
enforce
that's
that.
how it is now, and we don't
Yeah.
have any way to enforce it. I mean, we had times that we came here before Chelsea and we had Chris, I think you recall, Tony, Chris as the district manager, and there was 30 people there playing, and he would leave here and go over there, and then the majority of them did not reside in Gateway.
well,
And
but that's,
we
but
came
I
back
don't want,
here,
I
and
don't
we-
want to charge for
yeah.
parking for those. I want,
They're not even
I want
supposed
you
to
to
be there.
dismiss them, right? They're not supposed to, that's a different, that's enforcement versus,
But we don't have the staff to enforce it. We are supposed to be enforcing it now.
But
I
we-
can look at staff.
but
and
we
I
would
can
have,
ask
we
you,
would have to have
you-
staff.
Have we ever in the last year went out there unless somebody complained
Occasionally,
and somebody
if
complained?
we see it.
Well,
We
but
saw some fireworks.
in order for the
some
parking
fireworks.
to work as the product that we saw, that's why I say it's very set hours, which is where the volume is, which is where we make money. We're not going to make money from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Would it be $10 a day with the amount of volume that we get out here? But where we have the potential for revenue is during the lead times. That's when you've got thousands of people that are out here. So we would have to have staff here between 6 o'clock and 9:30, Monday through Thursday, probably from 6 to 10 on Friday, and from 8 to 3 on Saturday, and whatever the leagues are on Sunday, to make this work, because you've got to physically go out and scan, and you have to do that regularly.
Well, this kind of leads into a bigger conversation about the resident versus non-resident, and if we want to even allow non-residents onto like the commons more so in the future. So somebody coming and bringing a kid and wanting, maybe they live across the way and their kid goes to Gateway Elementary School and they know that we have a playground here and they want to come use it on the weekend. If we just have the flat where $2 to park, you're a non-resident, $2 an hour to park, and they want to come use the playground, they pay the $2 to park. Whereas it's very difficult, in my experience, if you have hours that fluctuate, to get that message out and if even with the
I
pool.
think they're two separate issues. Parking is one issue, enforcement of amenities use is separate. I think those are two separate, in my opinion.
Agreed, but you're overlapping them by trying to have fluctuating dates and times. And that I think would be even more difficult instead of just doing a blanket. Because then, right now, we have staff here during the day. Do we have staff here until 9 p.m. every night? No, because right now they're geared towards the pool, and then they'll swing an hour or two as part of closing, peek out over here if there's any big issues. But we don't have staff scheduled per se until 9-10 p.m. that the leagues are renting right now. So there would be a staffing adjustment we would have to do the
So are you
parking.
thinking like once an hour, someone would come over and they would scan the parking lot?
It would be part of their duties, yes.
Once an hour,
So
at
you're
a
gonna
minimum,
shift it.
at a minimum, once an hour.
Carol
Yeah.
has something. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, a question for Tony. Tony, are there any other CDDs that have a towing ordinance? Or an
yes.
enforcement ordinance of this kind?
There are a lot
Is
of-
this unique or is it common?
A lot of them have parking regulations, including a towing component for their parking facilities. Two of them actually operate parking garages, which is interesting.
Okay.
One's over in Hollywood Beach, which was interesting when we were talking premium, and then there's another one on the East Coast. That's what I found so far, but there are a number of CDDs that have parking rules and regulations and towing policies.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this isn't reinventing the wheel.
No, ma'am.
Are these
Okay.
people going to have a sticker or something on their car that we know that they paid a fee?
It associates to their license plate.
Okay, but how,
So they would come into the office or through the online with Premier or email in. It would have to be human intervention. They would have to come to the office and we'd say, show us proof that you are a Gateway resident. And then we would go into the Premier Parking app. And because when they set up their account, they have to put in their cars, like you guys have 2 cars. And we would have to say, this license plate associated with this vehicle is considered a resident. So let's say, using this example, if you came over to the parking lot, and Baron, I know you're here, so feel free to chime in at any point. So if you came over and parked over here and our people would go scan, we would say, the system would tell us, Carol is a resident, she's good to go. We don't have any issues. Ed Tinkle's a resident, Joe Schmo is not.
For employees or
Yeah,
for.
exactly.
Okay.
What device are you going to have that you get that information?
Cell phone. It's through their,
But how do you know what the license plate of all the cars in Gateway
they
are?
have, when you go and sign up, just like at the beach, when you go and sign up, you have to
So
show.
in other words, there would have to be an application or a registration process
Yeah.
to learn that. Okay. I was going to say, because I've got 1,500 homes over there in my community and I don't know who has what.
Yeah.
It's impossible. They buy and sell cars. They don't tell you about it.
Well, just like
So-
with your transponder with SunPass.
Flavia.
What you're saying here is that if there's a car out there and it's not on our list, it gets ticketed.
In violation.
If they park longer than necessary. I mean, other places have less sophisticated systems, Cuyahoga County beach parking stickers.
Yeah.
If you're a resident, you get one free.
I mean,
And
we
you have
could
to go
do the
down and-
stickers,
and
but that's
they-
just an added cost that
To
I don't
stamp your
think is
registration.
necessary. I mean, we could do that if that would be more comfortable, but it's all by the license plate on the app.
That's
So,
the driver.
yep.
I mean, Carol has something, but I wouldn't mind a opposing sticker and we just put no charges on it. So if it costs us 30 cents, we charge them that. I mean, if you're gonna buy, you're gonna buy, I think if a sticker would help.
Well,
like a deep-
the concept is by the plate.
Yeah, then just do it that way. Let's not reinvent the wheel if that's how they use it. But Carol had something to say.
Yeah, after we move to the new building, will there be enough parking spaces on this property to accommodate all of our employees that park over there?
Yes.
Okay.
But ops, like field staff will,
So we
Yes.
won't have employees over there
Correct.
that,
yes, correct. And this
Okay.
will be closed, this will be locked. We're gonna make this an automatic gate. That way it shuts. And it doesn't stay open all day, every day like it does now.
okay.
Premier's going to provide the hardware for the,
Yep,
Checking
everything,
out?
everything. The
Okay.
signs, the app, the setup, the introduction. It's an 80-20 split, I think.
80/20 is what I.
We have no capital investment. It's just
Sounds
like
great.
Facilitron, they do
Okay.
everything and they just get a cut.
And then we,
Still on the fence of whether we should charge Gateway residents or not.
staff is recommending no. Do it for a year, see what happens.
Say it again. please.
Staff is recommending no. Do it for a
Not
year.
charge residents.
Do it for a year, get your statistics.
I don't even want to think of the heat we'll catch if we try to charge residents. They're going to say, we're already paying once and we're already subsidizing it to 25% and maybe going to 50.
And
What
then we're
the-
subsidizing
what the hell do you
again
want?
by parking it, because you don't want to charge them what they should be charged. So here I'm getting subsidized and another line item category.
Anything else?
So then we would look at what piloting.
We could do it for a year. Yeah. So you're kind of asking next steps, what would happen next? So ultimately,
Hold on, but even if we do it for a year, if we're not gonna have any specific hours, we're gonna say at any location that's specified on the map, there is a parking fee of $2 per hour
Non-residents.
for non-residents. And the primary areas would be here. I guess right now that's.
well, you have the fun
What
part.
about the new part?
The
Yeah,
fun part.
And then
The
you would
new
have
part.
you would have the new part in the commons area when it opens. But that is committing one person of staff at least once an hour, swing by those areas. We can commit to that. And then at what time? They're going to also keep them till 9 o'clock
We'll have
at
to,
night?
we would have to
To add a
adjust
shift?
schedules. We've talked about some internal staffing reorganization with regards to the maintenance of facilities and making our park attendants more park attendants than park maintenance, which is what they've been. So yes, we've talked through this process internally. Yeah, we'd have some things we'd have to iron out and make sure.
And I like the idea of actually having someone from staff around during hours of operation when we're in the.
Agreed.
It's nice. We should have been doing it a long time ago. At least having someone around from parks when we've
Just
got.
keep in
the
mind,
parks
these are
list.
part-time park attendants that I have limited, I have to keep them under 32 hours on average a week. So that is a balancing act that we have to do with our current staff. It may warrant an additional staff member additional part-time staff member to be hired. I don't know. So again,
I
this,
think you're going to have to hire at least one, if not two more.
If we go out and do this, what are we saying we're going to net after paying all of our cost of employees?
We don't know that yet.
No, well, somebody better have a damn budget and an idea. What are we doing this for if we don't have any numbers?
We're gonna get 20% of whatever it is.
So that's what I was gonna say.
Well, we can work the numbers.
Hold on. Well, for parking, there'll be nothing. We're just gonna get a revenue because they're not charging us anything. We're just gonna get profit on that. It will be, if you're telling me that you're gonna reprioritize the tasks that our currently staff has, so they're not really increasing the hours, you just reprioritize their tasks, there'll be nothing. Now, if you're gonna hire somebody else, we can just look at the budget of last year and see what was the true cost that Laura had for the part-time employee with everything included, benefits and all, and that's our cost. Which I think I don't want to take 40 from here to pay 37 here. And
Right.
you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. So if you're telling, I would just ask if you guys want to refrain from making comments. So that's the thing. If you feel confident that you can reprioritize the staff, or if Paul feels confident that his staff can reprioritize their daily tasks, what do we have now? We have 4 that we could be able to. So you're looking at 4. So the hours of usage on the soccer field between 5 to 9. And then if you're going to do 3 hours, so that'll be 3.
Well, you don't have to
You're
check
looking
at 9, they all leave at
You're
9,
looking at
right?
15 hours a week. So you need 15 hours a week, because you're not going to do it at every hour. You're going to do every other hour, right? And so it's 15 hours a week of reprioritization of 4 employees. So 4 hours each. I mean, that's not bad.
I think maybe I think a reasonable estimate would be a revenue of about 10K a month.
$120,000 or what?
And that's
Won't be that much,
using
but-
low numbers. That's 500 for soccer, and I think maybe similar numbers, 3 or 4 for flag. And I just kind of baked in, I didn't add in all the nights, but I just took that and just multiplied it times 4. So it's about 1,000 to 2,500 a week. I mean, that's completely napkin math, but that's, and that I didn't include the 20% out for premium, but so
So are we
you can
charging,
make about 120 a year, 100 to 120 a year.
are we charging for a paved parking space and grass also?
anywhere over there,
Anything,
anything over
any
there.
place, any place you put your car. is
Anything
parking.
that's designated as a parking spot.
And if someone is parked
Oh,
in the
I
no
don't think
parking
we
area,
designate our grass as parking spots.
We would need to do that.
They park there now, in front of the gate, in front
Yeah,
of
but
the
Know
we-
that,
fence.
but that's,
Right now, it's illegal.
Well, no, there's some spots where they can park across the
Yeah, like
street.
so across the fence, that's okay to park. What we
Okay.
don't want them to park is on the berm on this side of it. That's what we wouldn't.
and that's
that
where
wouldn't be on
we
the
would
back.
need to deter that. Like, we need to put a hedge or something up
Absolutely.
to,
So that would be
the
a no
signs aren't
parking
doing
area.
anything.
Well, it's a no parking area now.
Yeah.
So,
Here we go again.
I know.
Doesn't matter. They park right in front of the signs.
Ridiculous. This thing's gonna die. They haven't got the money. And you're not. Yeah, I don't think so.
you know, there are other sports other than soccer.
So, again, this is just a workshop, no decision is being made. The next steps in this would be to potentially schedule a public hearing for us to further discuss this and iron out these rules and regulations, in which at that public hearing, you would take public comment, hear any input, review this, potentially adopt this, and implement this as gateway rule. I think it's rule number, it would be rule number 7.
Chapter 7.
And then as part of that same conversation and meeting, we would, I know Tony's reviewing the Premier Parking contract. We would be ironing out any details with them on that. Again, we're just looking to piggyback the county's contract 80-20 split. We get 80%, they get 20%. And then from that point on, you hold the public hearing, you make your decision, and then we proceed from there. So, and did I capture everything, Tony?
I guess we're going to have another workshop before the public hearing, because I know we talked about the public hearing being in March 19th, I think, the second board meeting.
We can discuss this as many times as the board would like.
We wouldn't need a workshop, just bring it up as an agenda item.
Yeah, I'll say that. Does anybody have any feedback on this particular document? Anything that they see here that they would like to edit, suggested, or anything else for?
It's a living, breathing document. Again, this was first draft. I'm still waiting on some feedback from Premier Parking. But again, this was kind of, we compiled this from a couple different sources.
I think to Tony's point, we just need to be more general to Gateway as a whole.
If the board wishes to, and again, that's typically, I've got a stack of other districts and how they've done theirs with their maps. So I can share those with Chelsea as examples of how they do that.
We can put
So the
together a
board can
nice map.
establish, the parking facilities, parking areas, where they can park, and identify no parking areas also, and hours of parking. We can possibly even put that in here if we want to.
So I think if we, sounds like we can potentially solve the capture. So if you've got staff doing the capture mechanism, that's great. The enforcement is the area that we're going to need to document that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked
So
with
how many violations do you have before we enact a towing order or whatever? And is that, we want to,
Yeah, I don't know if you, yeah, and again, we talked to Premium at length. There was good conversation with a number of individuals at Premium. This was a couple of weeks ago. And the enforcement is, again, if someone is parking without paying the parking fee. And so we have to set the time frame as to, and it might be after they go through for an hour, that might be the then towing or immobilization policy, as opposed to if they accumulate a number of them. What happens if they, a number of times they show up and they're only there for half an hour, then they leave, they show up half an hour and leave, and they don't pay the parking. That becomes, the non-compliance is indicated as being relatively small as far as if there's follow-up to the individuals.
which also brings up another thing, that we don't have a drop-off zone. Some of the behaviors at the leagues is you pull up, you drop your kid off, you leave, and you come back. Today, parking spaces are used for that. So if you come in and park, if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 hours, are we still asking everyone to park, or
Park,
do we,
you pay.
or do we need to consider, I mean, these are all the things that are going to come up.
Yeah, I think dropping it off is not parking. I mean,
Dropping off is just that.
There's a legal definition, differentiation between parking and queuing.
I'd say yes, because queuing is generally where you're in
A
a
transit
line,
lane.
trying to move forward to go to a particular
Why
location.
can't we amend this to have a fee for non-resident queuing?
On roadways?
No,
I
he's back.
didn't know where you were going.
I
back
know
over
where it's going. That's at the second page.
We're back over.
I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Why can't we do that?
I've never heard of that. I can research that for the next board meeting.
And so
So if
Westlings
you
gets
wanna-
added to
you
the
wanna-
map.
You want to talk about generating revenue and providing safety. There it is. You're sitting there down there looking at 1,000 cars.
Well,
This is ridiculous.
The issue is enforcement, though.
Do what?
The issue is enforcement.
And
of
then
that.
they're not going to do a damn thing about
We'll
it.
get you a little hat and a ticket.
No, what I'm saying
They
is
all
that,
know about it. Like, believe me, the commissioners know about it, and they aren't doing a damn thing about it.
what I'm saying is from the standpoint, if the district were to tell the person,
You only hear the heat.
here's the fee to pay, they're gonna say, and where's our enforcement of that?
And that's what's something that I'm always totally against. I don't want to create rules and documents that can't be
If we
enforced
can't
at
enforce.
all. So we're just wasting staff time to be able to address other stuff, you know what I mean?
Well, if we can
So-
assess a fee to do what we're talking about here, why can't we do the same thing to do it?
Let's
down
get this
there?
one
Well,
done
here's another
first.
thing too, we need coordination with the leagues. if you have outstanding parking, it should restrict you from registering. You have to be in good standings with the district in order to participate in our leagues. So that's one way to enforce. So if you park and you have, unpaid parking tickets, it will prohibit you from registering. And
What are the current agreements? When do they expire? Are they in effect?
They're season to season. It's just a rental.
When's the next one?
They're starting now.
is there a good standing clause or any language around?
Yes and no. Yeah, there is a good standing clause in there. It's just like if
I mean, that's
damages or anything like
gateway.
that, yeah.
It's probably general and not specific to this, but I like the idea
Yeah.
that have them police and monitor it, that can be a breach of their agreement.
That's where the enforcement's going to come in. Like, where we're really focusing on is during league time. That's when we get the most volume. And that's where the most revenue is. And the best way to
That's a good
be
idea.
able to recoup and to enforce is working with the leagues on that.
Good point.
We'd be able to, I'm hoping, assuming anyway, that you'd be able to tell that we have the most violators on Mondays between this time and this time, and you'd be, okay, who rents the fields then? And you'd be able to know who it is.
We would,
Yeah.
100%.
Tony, would this also apply around the new administrative building?
If we have areas where you're going to charge for parking, by the way, you could do it that way.
See, the beauty of the difference between the administrative building and here, access control into our site. Whereas here, because this road is used
Everywhere.
to access for two other property owners down here. So that license plate reader tag, I don't know if any of you have been downtown. So like now it's the app, and it's a person going by, but at the admin building, it's that license plate reader. So when somebody pulls in, it captures the time that they pulled in and
So we can
Tag.
have that at the commons where we don't have to have staff.
Yes,
Literally
correct.
every person that drives in,
correct.
they capture and it syncs with the,
Well, I think,
With
for
the
example,
premium app?
it might be a different situation, but Lee County, where they have their public
Compound.
utility building,
At their admin
at
building.
the admin building, if you're parked there during normal business hours, 8 to 5, you don't have to pay. Only because I was trying to figure out how to pay one day on the premium thing, it wouldn't take it, I couldn't figure out why. Then I read the sign, no parking fee between 8 and 5. But after 5, I would have had to pay, or else I'd be violating,
Are we saying that owners in this community, property owners in this community have to come in and register their vehicle to get into the
They don't have,
Commons Park?
they wouldn't have to come in per se. It depends on what you guys want to do.
Well, my thing is, how are you going to monitor my neighbor that's never goes there and decides to want to go over there and look at it? He has to come over and register his car or pay $2? I mean, that's insanity.
Registers his car, he doesn't pay.
Huh?
Registers his car, he doesn't pay.
I understand that, but you trying to tell our people that they gotta come and register the car to get into the public deal?
Only if they want to save the $2.
You tell them that, I'm not. That's absurd. That's absurd.
That is another, all I'm saying is there are alternative options, but yes, you could.
I mean, whether or not you want to have some place to say if you're less than 15 minutes, there's no fee.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of variables.
I mean, we can set aside parks for the admin building and then put those rules closed that, the reception can look at it. And if you see those cars been there for 3 hours and you don't have anybody, then you call the park attendant, right? And come in and then there we go, issue a ticket. But I think you do, given a take at the office, you may, 3 max residents you see at the same time. So if you set aside 7 parking spaces at the admin building, not for staff, for people to come in to check their bills or to have a conversation, that's plenty. And then make those visible from,
And it's far enough
say,
away from the
make them
fields.
painted, those the green ones, they're
And they're
admin
far
only
away from the
buildings.
fields
Yeah.
of the tennis or
Exactly.
pickleball or whatever.
Yeah, so that's easy. It's, just set them aside.
I mean, there's still a 50% chance that this just doesn't fail, that it doesn't work, and we just can't. we
Well,
can't figure it
and
out.
that's.
Till we try.
So, I mean,
Until we
Doug,
try, we don't know.
I think you read my mind because really the costs that we've incurred are Tony's time to put this together and some legal ads. You could choose to put this together and not designate any parking zones. We have it on the books in case you chose to change your mind, but it's totally the purview of the board.
And this also allows us to, let's say if we just don't use a system, to be able to have somebody standing at the front of the gate, taking $2 for everybody that, like some other parks do. They literally, for events and other things.
Lee County used to have a little booth at the,
Yeah, so
public-
this will still allow us to do that, right, regardless of what system we're using or what capture mechanism we use, yeah.
Yeah, well, depending, we'd have to put that in the agreement with premium, how we're gonna handle that.
At that, then you have a cost of that for them staffing it,
Well,
but
I don't think
Wait,
that-
our policy shouldn't call out any mechanism of capture. It's
Yeah.
the policy.
Yeah, that was not, I do not recall them explaining that. I recall the
this
sign
was a-
is up to the person to pay the sign.
and then the enforcement is on the district.
Enforcement is on our end.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the rule does not adjust a specific manner
Yeah.
or method, but whatever the contractual arrangement is that the
Yeah,
district
yeah,
has
yeah,
with
but that's
premium,
different.
that's where it
I'm
gets
just saying, I
addressed.
want this just to to cover us for whatever mechanism we use. Of course, you know, we'd have to stay, if we were contractually engaged with someone, we would stay within that. But I want to make sure we can do, whether it's using a system or having somebody out there collecting $5 on a Saturday through cash or app.
Yeah, right now it's pretty generic. It says we engage a particular company as parking manager to manage.
Yeah.
It's pretty,
Very
broad.
Generic.
Yep.
Does anybody have any other questions about the actual rules
Yeah,
and
What we
regulations?
also need to do, just as an aside, if we're going to modify it to cover the admin building and others, we're going to have to
We do a map.
expand. Yeah, we want to expand because right now definitionally it's geared towards the recreational facilities.
Okay,
And so, for example, it says they're open only during the hours when the associated recreational facility is open.
it's like district
So we need
facilities.
to revise it to be more global, I'll call it.
Yep.
To reference maps and facilities. Okay.
Gonna close the meeting?
So if there's
Workshop?
nothing else, we'll take 5-minute break.
Okay,
All right.
Expand to
All right,
cover
thank you.
others. By the way, did you know that this district sued Jim Ward years ago?
I know.
Or actually sued the
I
old
know, it feels-
management company when Jim Ward implemented a new accounting
I
system.
like seeing that.
If you-
I like.
You too, Tony. Tony, get up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a great age.
I am saying.
We're all unmuted.
But
Ready when you are, Flavia.
Marty's been ready for like 10 minutes.
Wait, you want to call them?
It's 3:04, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let's all stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, this is new.
Oh, I just looked at that.
That's been there since you guys did the logo. It's been months that's been there.
First time in this. You too?
Yeah.
What?
It's not the,
The new sign?
I was there last time.
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's got the broccoli on it.
Thank you. The broccoli sign. All right, everyone. So in attendance, we have Bob, Doug, myself, Ed, and Carol. I need a motion for approval of the final agenda.
One amendment to the final agenda.
Go ahead.
I'd like to table item 11C to the February 19th board meeting. The HOA is not prepared. They have to do a legal review. We have to
So
talk.
moved.
I've got one item I would like to table also.
Agenda item 11C.
A second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Okay, so
I have
that,
an agenda item I would like to table until the next meeting.
which is,
9B is in Baker. Easement use agreement.
Auto.
Because?
Still some investigation going on.
Table that also?
oh, so
Yes,
that-
I'd
so
like to
he
table
makes that motion.
Bob, you made that motion?
Yes, I did.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on with the revised agenda, and we move 9A, 9B, and 11C to the next meeting. Okay, public comment.
I have nothing.
All right.
Anybody want to make public comment? Yeah, make sure you come up
You have to
to
fill
the,
out a slip. Oh, don't, yeah, hang on, don't talk until you get up here, please. Next time,
Welcome
just so
in.
you know, there's slips where you sign in that you fill out and give to me, so I know that you want to speak. You get 3 minutes, timer's there.
Yeah, I live
Go
at
ahead.
10719.
You say your name and then your.
David Goodrum, owner of 10719
And also,
the 9B. Have been permitted by the city of Fort Myers. Forest the engineer. Chelsea has recommended approval. Ready to complete the project, and we understood had everything that we needed done. We filed for the use agreement, provided site plans, details, photos.
and you also started construction before you got the
Oh,
approval.
so let's have his 3 minutes. Sorry about that. Go ahead and finish your 3 minutes.
So we started construction, yes, the paver company came out and started to excavate, and then we stopped them and filed for permitting, because they did not have a permit. They said they didn't need one, but they do need one. Chelsea came out and we met, and she explained that we needed the permit, and she explained what we needed to do to have the storm drain lid inspected, because we had moved the lid, and so we went through all that. I'd like to ask that the board consider putting that back on today's agenda.
Bob, you want to?
Well, yeah, I've gotten more calls over this item than anything that's been on the agenda forever. So it is, although he is absolutely correct. Everybody has approved it in the chain of approvals, thinking someone else was going to object to it. But the bottom line is, it's over top of our manhole cover. It's right in the middle of it. And I'm not willing to, at least not without some more due diligence, if we had some caveats on here that there'll never be a vehicle parked on it, that it's used just to drive in and out, okay, then that's what I'd like to explore over the next month. But if somebody has any intent of parking something over our manhole cover overnight, no, that ain't gonna fly with me.
so just to be clear, you guys tabled this to the February
Next meeting.
19th meeting, which
Yes,
is
the
two,
next
2
meeting,
weeks
2
from
weeks
now. So it's not a month from now.
We have no prohibition. We got plenty of houses in Gateway Greens with manholes in driveways. I mean, that's
We don't
not
have any in
uncommon
Pelican.
at all. And it is because every time you make a turn in a sewer, you have to have manhole. And you got curvilinear roads everywhere. So that means you're going to have a lot of manholes, and you stick the manhole wherever it's at. And if the driveway's there, a driveway's there. But I don't have any problem with that. I thought there was something else that was wrong with the application.
Go ahead, Tony.
Chelsea, I guess there's one other question, and I don't know if it's been addressed yet or finalized, is the distance, because it's close to a traffic control device and a stop sign,
So one thing that came up.
the flare of the proposed new flare of the driveway, apparently.
So one thing that came up during discussions and review and the calls during this entire process was the distance from the stop bar and stop sign to the proposed driveway. That we've looked at, we're evaluating that. But ultimately it's the city that has to really look at that. So I did put a call into them. I hadn't heard anything back. But again, this is post issuance of their permit. It wasn't on the survey where the stop bar was and the stop sign was. And so that's why when I asked the city if they had knowledge of this information, they said, no, it wasn't. I said, well, did you come out and do a site visit? They said, no, they don't, because it's an owner pulled permit. So that was the last caveat that I had heard with regards to what requirements setbacks from that stop sign. But I haven't heard anything back from the city considering it was already issued.
Well, stop bar is typically where the stop sign's at.
Yes.
And if the stop bar is in the driveway, then that means the stop sign's in the driveway. So it must not be in the driveway.
It's not within the driveway, but
So there's a separation distance.
it's in
Yeah,
the
a couple feet.
proximity
Mr. Deppert has a
to.
photograph of it. If you want to pass it, also make it part of the record ultimately, this photograph. When was that taken, Bob?
So how far, Tony, is it from the stop bar
Taken
back
Monday
to
or
the
Sunday of
edge
this
of the
week?
driveway?
According to Mr. Geppert, that was taken Monday or Sunday of this week. And Bob, do you have an estimate as to the
Do
distance?
you have that?
I'm going to guess maybe 8 feet. I don't even know it's that much.
If we do that, I've got so many of those in violation of that in Gateway, it's not funny.
I have pictures of, sorry,
It's not an
may I
issue.
speak?
Yeah.
I have photos, and these were shown to the city of Westminster, and there is the Pelican Preserve Special Development Agreement that talks about the site triangle, which we meet, and there's multiple properties in Prado. Here's an example of one. This is not my property, where the stop sign's actually closer.
You make that part of the record then? We can
Do we
keep
have
that.
this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So Tony, that picture there with a driveway, is that the proposed new driveway?
Well, he's already started excavating, yeah.
Yeah, they started
Okay.
excavating, and that's when
Top it off.
they hit the cable line, the fiber optic line.
The hot wire box, yeah.
That's,
Knocked out the street.
yes, sir. And I apologize.
Heard about that too? Well, no, it's not.
Made some friends on that
I
one,
don't see
huh?
the manhole in this picture.
It's in the middle of the driveway.
No, this one here is not
That's
his.
someone
This
else's
is a-
property.
Somebody
this is
else's.
Somebody else's, yeah.
And there are multiple examples.
Yeah.
It's up here around the middle, Ed, where, in the middle of the
And the
pallets.
manhole
You see
is
here?
in the middle of the
the
driveway.
manhole?
So when
Right
you
here.
drive up the driveway, the manhole
The
will go,
manhole's right
it
here.
won't go where the tires are. And I signed a utility use agreement that states that if there's
In the public
any
right of way.
damage, I'm responsible. That's
And
part of
and
the,
as I understand, you're trying to get your vehicle in and out of the garage, is that correct?
sir, you cannot.
So you don't have any intention of parking anything there?
No, sir.
Okay, well,
I mean, I may park, a guest may pull up and park
oh
in
yeah,
my
but I
driveway,
mean,
but
but
they
you're not
won't
gonna
be
have
on
something
the
sitting there
manhole.
overnight.
They won't
blocking
be
that
on the
manhole.
No, not overnight.
Okay.
I have a truck and we have a sports car in the garage. I cannot get the car out of the garage without taking the truck, drive out into Prado. And then the driveways are very close. So it's very difficult to find a spot to park on the street. Then I have to go get the car out, park it on the street, get back in the truck, put the truck back in the driveway, and then leave in the car and repeat the whole process when I come home.
And so we're clear, the city cannot stipulate the issuance of a permit based on a different agency, but what they can do is, as required for his permit closeout of this driveway, that they can require
Sign off.
us to sign off. And so that is what has occurred.
And I think 2 weeks we can get this resolved. It just hit me, but I got a ton of calls.
So the,
Yeah,
bo-
but then my question is to you, what is it that needs to be resolved? Clarification for what he just explained to us?
Well, one of the things that I had been inundated with is some concerns that there was going to be a vehicle and or a boat or something parked on this thing for overnight. And if that's not,
You don't even allow boats overnight parking.
well, yeah, I understand that. There's an RV lot and all those other things, but these are the kind of things that I was hearing. I just wanted, excuse me, a little more time to get to the bottom of it.
I'm,
2 weeks, I didn't think was an unreasonable request.
if the concern is only what you proposed, I thought it was going to be something more. I don't,
Well, there's two things, the stop sign.
which we
And-
just saw that there's, I mean, I have 13574 is exactly that, a manhole right there, and it is right on the only stop sign we have on the little gem. And Ed has it too, so I'm not opposed to moving forward this or waiting the 2 weeks. I don't think it's necessary to wait 2 weeks for something that was just clarified by him and Tony.
Well, if we can change it.
Well, there was a motion to table, I think, did it pass?
It did
Yes.
pass, there was a motion at the table,
let's-
so would it be a motion to reintroduce this item to the agenda, allow the public to comment on the
Motion to take it
item?
off the table, yes.
Yes.
If that's,
Well,
I mean,
in
if that's
the
the only
permit language,
concern that
if the
it-
permit language says that there's, or whatever we give them, says there'll never be any parking on it, then I will not.
you can,
Opposed.
you can recommend that as part of a
If that
motion
changes
with,
the language, then I'm okay with it.
if you make that recommendation as part of your motion stipulating. the
Well, I'll
appro-
do that on the 19th or whatever, unless we reintroduce it.
What is the
Okay, so what
probable
happens?
harm on it, even if somebody parked?
And so
How is
that's.
that different than any other
Hold on,
driveway?
let us have discussion. If you have a question or comment, you can stand there in case we do have a question.
So what happens when and if he sells the property to somebody else and they park something there?
What was the issue with the parking?
And that's what I said, because
Why
usually if
can't you
there's a,
park on
it's an easement, so it's not like
Parking
it
the
has to be
boat on this
free.
property overnight.
It's not, okay, I'm gonna ask, just hold on. So
I'm not
parking,
saying you guys.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying somebody else down the road. This house is going to be there for a while. This driveway's going to be here for a while. The manhole's going to be there.
but then,
So-
then I think it's an issue that we're taking up onto the district that is not ours. If they're parking overnight, a boat, I'm going with the boat because that's what you guys mentioned. That is a violation of your HOA documents, and you take it and you handle that way. That is not a district issue.
agree.
So
You know what I
the-
mean?
I don't know that that is a violation.
The only stipulation,
So then you're not gonna allow, if it's not a violation, then you're gonna certainly not
No,
allow them
I
to
don't
just
know.
tell them
All
that
I'm
it's not
saying
a
is a
violation.
restriction on this, as long as the intent is an honest intent to just, move around, I don't have a problem with it. But if the absolute end result is going to be that there's going to be a boat parked there, as long as overnight or something, that's going to be a problem.
Well, why would it be a problem? Because if they need to get access, they couldn't knock on the door and
Because if
have the
if
boat
the
get out?
driveway's not there, you'll never have the boat in the front yard. This is absolutely in the front yard. There isn't any resident on that street that wants
But that
this.
is an HOA issue. That is not a CDD issue of parking. Tony, am I not?
that's correct from the
Okay.
standpoint of what happens in the front, it's either a city or Fort Myers, land use, land development code, special development regulation, or deed restrictions, but from the perspective of having a stipulation of no overnight parking over the manhole
issue.
may be appropriate because of the district needs access to that for, extended parking. If there's nobody home, if it's overnight, that's something that could be appropriate, I think, in the document, and it runs with the land. So whoever buys it subject to this easement. And I guess this other question is,
Question.
do you have a mortgage on the property? No more. Okay, otherwise the mortgage holder would have to join in on this
Okay, so
agreement.
Tony.
Is there a way of putting such a stipulation on his property?
In the agreement, and that runs with the land. And so
On the
condition-
easement agreement.
Okay.
In the easement use agreements, if the board can impose conditions and list conditions in the easement use agreement as to the use of the district's easement for this particular driveway improvement. And it
so
runs with the land.
One sentence. Let me just go over here with Doug. So Doug, so here's the driveway. So the manhole is here, right? So in case he parks, so this is the map that's attached to the agenda.
Where did you show the manhole?
So the manhole, there's right here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so the manhole is right here, so that's the parking. So my question would be, in Pelican, because I feel like it's two different things. If we're looking at a site issue that The boats shouldn't be there overnight. That is 100% an HOA issue. It's not us, it's their enforcement. They will handle it that way. So I wouldn't be opposed to allowing the gentleman to go ahead and move with this item because that's not our issue. To enforce is not our issue. Now, if the issue is the boat will be there or could be there or whatever will be there, and there's an issue, now we have to
Need
access
access.
it, and that's a problem, then that's a concern. But then my question is, because I have something similar to this, what is the standing rule now? Like,
We have other
we have
driveways and gateway with
exactly.
manholes.
That's what Ed is saying,
Tons
so.
of
Matter of fact, we just
It's-
had somebody here not too long ago with a
Exactly,
crack.
so that we don't have a rule for all the existings, we're trying to draw a line in the sand going forward, is that what I'm hearing? So everybody else that needs this on the gateway side, we're going to now create this rule? I don't think
Well,
this
let me
is,
rephrase it a different way. If
It's going to
there's,
be moved.
if there's
That's-
never,
that's the
Or
point.
towed if there's no one.
if there's
Just like
never
we
an
do.
intent to park over this and leave things overnight, what's the problem with putting that in the easement use
I don't think we
agreement?
can do that. I don't
We
think
can do that.
I don't think we can regulate one specific driveway with a manhole and not address that in
But we
every other
can
driveway
regulate the
and
one
gateway.
manhole that had never have anything parked overnight. That we can do.
I guess what's happened in this instance, the gentleman
opposed to that.
the gentleman made improvements to a district facility.
You could take
He
and
was
make
doing
them
work in a
remove
district
it
easement.
if
He
your
modified,
maintenance
now
was
maybe
just
it's
to
a
have
better
it parked in their
condition.
driveway.
He modified the district's manhole.
So the
One
one,
second, so I think what you're trying to address is in the event that there is an emergency and the manhole needs to be accessed. If there's a vehicle or something obstructing that, we need to have the ability to unobstruct that, and that's where the
No,
easement.
But
no,
we
no,
already
no,
have,
no.
no, he's not doing that, because we already have that.
We already
ability.
have that.
We already have that ability. What he's doing is the on-site, he doesn't want, God forbid, a boat goes there. That is not a CDD issue, that is an
Yeah,
HOA
that's
issue.
not.
so
Well, it
the,
is, an
Because
eas-
as of
but it
right-
is in our, we can put that as a provision of the easement use. He's asking for an easement.
I feel like we're crossing
Then you
the
vote against
lines.
it.
I will, and I
Okay.
will, because I feel like we're crossing we're doing an HOA favor that is not, it's not us to do. As of right now, if it's a Gateway Greens, or if it's Magnolia Lakes, if you have a main cover and you have something park over, and we as the district need access, the language on our documents allows us to move such a thing if we cannot have the resident to comply. So that is, we're not creating something that doesn't need it because it's
But-
already there.
Okay, but we've already, in this particular instance, the manhole's already been changed prior to getting permission. The land's been excavated prior to, getting a permit. I mean,
And I get that. And
Okay,
he-
well-
And he stopped it. So there's like, what are we looking for him to put the grass and wait for the answer? I mean, there was a mistake that took place. The vendor and the homeowner, which is responsible for the vendor, started the contract. And immediately when he did,
Before the approval?
he stopped it. So it's like.
So this was done prior to our
The
approval?
picture that you
absolutely.
showed, the
No,
picture
we
that,
had
you-
HOA approval prior to.
no, you said our
Excuse me,
approval.
sir.
yeah, he didn't have the easement agreement with the district.
if I may,
Yes, Chelsea.
so we have an existing storm water manhole. The gentleman, the property owner, did make the adjustments per Tetra Tech's review. The only
And put it in your.
The
face.
only really stipulation from a staffing perspective is, Doug, to your point, we all remember the gentleman that came in Eagle Point 6 months ago and we paid for an apron portion of his driveway. I don't want to
Conquest.
be in that same boat because we don't have that right now because there is no driveway there. And and Dave, I believe, has agreed that if the paver starts sinking or any part of his driveway around this, he would bear that cost. That way,
That's something else that Bob didn't even bring up, and I agree with that. Like,
Correct.
don't come to us for us to do it.
We're
you know,
not
but
worried
that
about
was-
it now, we're worried about it in 15 years.
Yeah,
So the
I'm
man-
not worried about Dave, I'm worried about the next one or the one after
Right.
that, when something happens.
and that's the beauty of this easement use agreement is it gets recorded
lot.
and it goes with the lot. So, and that goes with any stipulation you put as part of this.
In other words, Chelsea, bottom
There's
line
no
is,
overnight parking.
but no, I think just clarifying quickly, that the manhole for the stormwater system was not in a driveway, correct?
Correct.
Not when it
And
started.
so the gentleman built a new driveway and encompassed the area where the stormwater
No, it's
manhole is
right there,
and
yeah.
modified the manhole. So
No,
that's
it's
different than any other
there.
situation. I think
Yes.
that's the issue.
Yes. So there
It was in grass to begin with, and
Yes.
he's now putting a paving driveway over it.
Correct.
And I see nothing wrong with the stipulation that be changed in the easement, that any damage that's caused as a result of that, cracking, whatever, is the owner's responsibility.
Yeah, that's in the utility.
But
easement.
that's fine.
That I
I'm-
wouldn't have a
I'm-
problem with.
I'm okay with that. I'm just not okay with creating a rule for this resident to say you cannot park right here.
But he doesn't want to do it. That's what he's saying. So what's the problem with it?
Well, I said I will not park a boat overnight. I did not say I wouldn't be able to control the parking on there. And like you say, if I sell the house, I don't think it's, first of all, it doesn't solve the problem. Because if I can't park the truck, on that apron there, how do I get the car out of the garage?
Don't have a driveway if you can't park in it.
That's,
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
I can't agree to not parking
So-
in my driveway.
You've,
A vehicle, yes,
You-
not a boat.
The key is he's got to have responsibility that if he's going to be parking over the manhole and there is a need to maintain the manhole, it's got to be moved.
I agree with that,
Other
which
than
is
that,
already
that's
in,
it.
which is
Stipulation
already
ours.
under the.
That's
what we
already
have.
stipulated, then
Yeah.
I don't see any issues.
Yeah, same here.
so you have voted to table this item to the February 19th meeting.
We discussed it at the February 5th meeting. I see no reason to table, so I take and bring it back on. I make motion to approve.
I'll second your motion to bring it back on this item.
Yeah, the motion would be to basically remove it from the table,
Okay,
to bring it back
so
for
that's
action.
your motion, Ed?
Untable it.
And I'll second that motion. I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in
Oh,
favor-
discussion,
Okay, discussion, go ahead.
2 caveats. First is the owner's going to be responsible if it settles or any damage that we've already said. And the second, he won't park a boat there overnight. If we get those 2 things, I have no problem with it.
Well, right now, the
You can park a
motion.
vehicle, it's a
Wait,
driveway.
right now, the motion is just to bring it back so we can talk about
But
it.
we're discussing, okay.
So we're not discussing that.
Okay.
So I have a motion to
Take it off
take
the
it from the
table.
table. I have a
Yep.
second. I'll go ahead and call it for a vote on that issue. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose?
No,
Okay, so 4-1. So the issue's back on,
So just to clarify the final agenda, so everything remains the same except for 11C, which goes to the 19th meeting.
correct.
All
correct.
right, thank you. We're still on public comment.
11C.
Yes,
11, this is
11C.
9.
Okay, so no more other public comment. All right, so let's move to local achievements and recognitions.
I just want to bring up really quick an idea that came from the Gateway Charter Schools, and I did talk to Chair Walsh regarding this, is implementing, a lot of other municipalities work with their local schools on recognizing students that exceed or excel in core values and things like that. So what we plan on doing moving forward is partnering with the 4 schools and having them nominate in just a small blurb during this portion of your meeting, once a month, recognizing 1 or 2 students and just handing a little certificate. I think that's a great partnership with the schools, and then maybe we can get them to enforce the parking, Ed.
This isn't sporting. Is that correct?
No, it's academics.
It's
only.
academics.
Nothing to do with
Academics.
athletics.
It's academics. I made a recommendation.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring that, make sure you guys were all on board with that. I did recommend a student, Leslie's daughter, who has volunteered over 80+ hours with us here on our stuff. So I recommended her to be the first. I don't know if they'll proceed with it, but they're running the program. We're just here to
I feel like we're
help
pulling ties.
facilitate.
It's a great way to promote
the-
citizenship.
Yeah, and then get people involved
To
and ready
come
for
and
the NAS.
see what this is,
We're not
yes.
gonna be here forever.
Tony, I can't remember, we've had some conversation in the past around like things that the district can do to raise money. And I know there are parameters around that.
It all depends what you're talking about.
So what I'm saying is, I think it's a great idea, and I would love for us to maybe look at even taking it a step further and annually us being able to give some type of scholarship to one of the
Deductible, do we get? That's all I wanna know. If we give 1,000, do they
But if
minus
Trumpet,
1,000?
yeah.
would that-
With trumpet,
If
yeah.
we had a scholarship,
Yeah.
could we raise money or take donations for
The,
that?
the key issue is money has to be used for primarily public purpose. And so that becomes a question is that within the purview of the charter of the district to do that? 190 or reasonably implied from the specific powers granted. And I don't know that off the top of my head, but I can check.
Yeah, if you could check it, that'd be good.
So to that point, we're always hiring. We have an educational tuition assistance program that, you know, they want to apply, they want to become an employee of the district, and they're here and in good long-term standing. They have to be employed here, I think, 6 months to a year before that they can take advantage of that. But there is that opportunity.
And full-time.
Yeah. So
So nothing else?
no, but thank you
They
for.
have to be full-time?
I have
It
to.
reads right now,
How
it's
can you work
full-time.
full-time and also go to school?
I
I
did
did
it.
that.
I did it too.
We all
General
did.
Motors paid my last year.
Yeah, full-time is only, it depends on what the school qualifies as full-time. Sometimes it's 8
12
credits,
credits.
sometimes it's 12.
No, 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 I mean,
You have to be a
that's what
full-time
full-time
employee.
Employee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
we
did it.
require people to work 40 hours a week
Yeah.
and then
Well,
also go
32.
to school?
full-time has
You don't
to.
require them to go to school, but if they go, you'll pay them.
They want to
Here
take
it's
it,
40
if they
for
want to
I
take
did it my
advantage of
senior
that
year in
perk,
college.
yes.
For us,
I worked for
40?
General Motors
Yeah.
40 hours a week and went to school at night.
Not
Part-time.
average
They
of
paid all my
12
tuition.
weeks on 32?
I understand that, but
Okay. All right, so advisory
I think
committees.
it's a great
and-
idea.
Yeah, me too. So
Thanks.
advisory committees and items to report. I know we have Leo here, but I don't think we're good.
No,
All right.
did you, well, Paul, did you have anything
Paul,
you wanted to
yeah,
bring
call you
up?
by your last name, sorry. Thank you, Paul.
Hi, everyone. Paul Leogrand on behalf of Parks and Rec. We did meet this week and we discussed the parking fee. And I'm glad to hear that the board is considering or voiced the same concerns that we had, really. I did submit a letter that you all have. I know it was last minute, but voicing a lot of the same concerns. We're happy to hear that the consideration is for non-gateway residents. We feel that that's probably the biggest issue where we're paying for the Parks and Rec facilities within our taxes, and then now we're going to pay it again. I think we'll have a huge pushback on that. I think we also owe our residents, at least, talking about timing, we at least owe them, what do our facilities look like with the new Commons Park being complete? In other words, we have to offer something, right? Through some research, the past year, I think we had a total of 0 out of Gateway residents sign up for a pool pass, for example, right? So clearly, we're not going to make revenue out of people coming in that are non-residents going to the pool, now charging them this fee. So we have to kind of do some research there, like how are we generating the revenue from parking? I think it's solely on the soccer field, and maybe that's okay to start with. But then the other concerns we have are staffing, having 4 staff members in Parks and Rec that are part-time people. And the safety issues that go along with that, putting them in a parking lot, scanning license plates. Again, they're part-time, there's only 4 of them. That's a concern for us. And is the fees that we're going to get going to outweigh the cost it's going to be to staff those people, right? So if we're breaking even, why are we doing that? So our opinion is that, we focus on improving the programs first. And then once, we say, okay, we're up and running and we're successful with these programs. And we've also looked at the other revenue generating possibilities. The concession stand, I think, is going to be a huge thing that's going to really benefit, right? What is the shortfall at that point? What are we looking to subsidize when it comes down to the parking scenario? So I appreciate you giving us the time to speak, and yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate all the work you guys do. All right, so no minutes approved. Consent agenda items.
I'll move on consent agenda items 9A and C.
Okay,
I'll second.
I'll have a motion and a second for consent agenda items A and C. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, so let's bring consent agenda item 9B. So back to what we were. So Tony, so the current agreement and the layout that we have it does state that if the district needs access to that manhole, we get that, right?
I think it can be expanded based upon the proposed use. And
Okay.
and again, it talks about, it's generally geared towards if the driveway and the pavements and the improvements are in the way or interfere if we're talking about if there's a vehicle in there, I think we can enhance it by placing, if there's something that's blocking access, we can immediately remove it.
Any difference in a fence in an easement? If the fence is in the easement and we have to work, the fence comes out and it's your expense.
Well, but it's a
Same thing with
vehicle.
the car.
I
The
think it's
car's
better
in
to
the
vehicle.
driveway,
Very different.
Gotta move.
And I think it's better to put it in here more, be more specific about that.
And also the settling, who's responsible if they're,
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
yes,
well,
that, yeah. Because I'm thinking even the vehicle, what if it's not overnight and as lucky as we are, you park, let's just say you have a boat, like a big boat. Boat's parked there for half an hour and suddenly, because he's half an hour, because he's,
Nope.
here it is. The boat's-
Overnight.
No, but let them finish. So he just parked his boat half an hour and he's putting all his snacks inside and getting it ready and there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like.
no, I don't. It's a very big difference between what you're going to do during the day and leaving it overnight.
But that's not our issue. I'm just saying, like, if there's a boat is the issue, it will make no difference if it's overnight or if it's just there for an hour and whatever major emergency happened is within that hour that the boat was there.
The problem is, I believe stipulate from 8 PM, 7 PM to 7 AM.
I think the way to do that is, right now it says if the encroachment, which are the improvements he's made, basically putting the pavers in the district's easement area where they didn't exist before and modifying the cover, that's the encroachment that's being, that's occurring. It says we can demand by written request that the encroachment be removed, which means please take your driveway out of the easement area. It doesn't really address the situation if there's a vehicle or something else blocking access by virtue of it being parked. So that can be put in there.
So anything that will block
Yes.
that
Yeah,
permanently.
we can immediately remove it without any written request. I can put that in. So
I mean,
make it.
I'm fine
make
with
it more
that.
ge- make it
I'm
more-
okay with
Make it more
a
generic.
car, a
Yeah,
truck.
more than- yeah.
I don't have a problem with that at all. I just don't want to have a boat there overnight. And I think if we
Well, I think
modify.
what he's saying is
Or-
anything,
but what-
anything overnight.
But I'm not saying.
Bob, what if it isn't a boat? What if
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
If it's
an
a truck or
RV?
car,
An RV, yeah, exactly.
Again,
that,
determine-
drives itself? Not something you have to
I
back
don't
in
care
or
about that.
anything like that?
Most of your HOAs have already prohibition against those things anyway.
Go ahead,
I
Tony.
would suggest that the language not be no parking overnight. We just say that in the
Obstruction.
event there is anything obstructing the district's access to its facilities
For
and easements,
maintenance.
district can immediately remove such obstruction.
I think
Agreed.
it's perfectly
I
fine with
think
that.
that's the way
It
to
could be
I would agree
anything, it
with
could be a
that.
motorhome, a
but if
boat,
the
anything.
district didn't need access and the boat's there every night, that's a problem.
But that's an HOA problem, not a
Look, you're
CDP
saying
problem.
that, we have the right now to do the easement. That's what we do.
So it's-
We're granting the easement, and the resident has said he's not going to put the boat overnight. What's the problem?
But that's,
What's the hang up on the boat?
yeah, it's not.
It's
a-
ugly.
Well,
and people
that's what
don't
I'm
wanna have
saying.
a boat
I knew-
in their
That's why
front
I
yard.
said it was
So
aesthetic.
It's aesthetics, it's not a.
Oh, yeah,
safety.
absolutely.
Okay.
And the district's interest is making sure there's nothing interfering with the district's easement or easement use rights.
Yeah.
And so that gets back to making more generic, anything that interferes with the district's
They
ability to
don't.
operate or maintain its facilities in the easement. We can take immediate action to remove that obstruction or impediment.
But if that was the case, the HOA could have came to us or
Maintain it.
and-
Everybody thought somebody else was going to deny it, and it went right
and
down
here
the
we
daisy
are,
chain.
and here we
And
are.
here
So
we
I-
are.
so-
This
so
is
now
the
I have
last
to-
chance.
So I have to fix up their.
You don't have to, but we have the opportunity.
So I'm
And
fine with
Flavia, I
adding.
am not so sure that HOAs have the ability to enforce their ordinances. They have ordinances and regulations, but I don't think they
You
have.
absolutely do. You absolutely enforce it. Either you do fines
Notice of
or you do
violation.
a removal.
Yeah.
Most attorneys, and I'm not one, will say, don't touch it because it's on the driveway, issue a fine. I don't know what you cap your fine at, but if it's over $1,000, you can put a lien on that property.
Do HOAs have the ability to
Absolutely.
fine and
Yes, I don't
regulate?
do HOA law, but the attorneys I know that do.
Why would I tell you that?
But the attorneys,
don't do HOA.
but attorneys I know that do that they actually have finding committees
You,
established.
They do.
statute
Okay.
is required
Okay.
for you to have it.
Okay.
So, and for us, I'll tell you that's something that changed. And I think with your community as well. So if you can max, statute says that you can issue a fine for a max of $100 a day per day specific violation, right? You can go more than that. But statute says it's up to $1,000 or whatever your document says. there's another line on the statute that says if it's under $1,000, you cannot put a lien. So what we did as my HOA, we capped that fine up to $2,500, because if I don't get compliance, I am going to put a lien in your property. And we have done that twice, and I don't have any issues after 10 years.
That's exactly what
So
we
the
did.
best thing I don't know how your HOA runs, but that is something that you want to look at. Because otherwise you kind of ties your hand. They don't pay you. There's nothing you can do besides racking fees and stuff like that. So
Tiger
that's
don't have any teeth.
exactly. So right now you do
Well, if it's gonna cost me-
$1,100. You do
If it's
$1,100.
going to cost me more than $1,000 to park my mobile home someplace else, then I'll just
One
park it
time.
right there and pay the $1,000 to the association.
And they'll do it again.
But then
and
they do it again, you start again, and then you lean
And I'm not saying that these guys
Yeah,
are going to do it.
but that's
I'm
not
just
a-
saying down the road.
I don't have any questions
know.
for you, and I don't think right now the board. I would have preferred not to, and I usually not, because I don't think there's any questions that this board have.
I think I can clarify some things very quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Pelican Preserve has HOA guidelines, not
Joe,
only the local
Joe.
You gotta say your
HOA.
name.
So tell us,
Joe
yeah.
Schofield,
Thank you.
Pelican Preserve, not only the Prado, but also the master board. You're not allowed to park trailers, boats, golf carts overnight in a driveway, period. And they can fine you. They send you a notice and they can fine you up to $1,000. If you don't comply, they put a lien on your house. And they also can take all your rights away from using the town center. So they can enforce it. They do enforce it. They just fined somebody $1,000 the other day. And that's not untypical of our community. So, and they have also expanded driveways for people to be able to get in and out of their garages because the contractor didn't give a lot of room for almost anybody that had a turnaround. So I don't think the concerns about parking something overnight other than a car, which is allowed, that you would have anything. The HOA is not allowed, you're not even allowed to park those in the street. So driveways or streets, you can't do it. So the HOA has a lot of oomph behind them to
And I agree with you
regulate
100%
that.
on
So
that.
I just wanted to confirm that because I've been through all that as I'm part of that group. Thank you.
Okay.
So I don't have any other questions. So we have this item on the table. I need either a motion to approve with a suggested amendment from Tony, which you're going to say it again, exactly what you wanted to include.
Okay.
I forgot.
But basically, the language would be that if there's any obstruction or interference with the district's facilities or improvements or easement, the district can remove the obstruction or interfering item without any prior notice to the property owner.
And the second part is the damage.
And secondly, to ensure that he currently does hold harmless in here from the standpoint of the encroachment. We just may want to beef that up with regards to any settling or cracking or anything else that we talked about. And those two items. And I've made some other suggested edits that are they were more technical legal issues, and you can't do anything else in the easement area without our approval.
I would make the motion to proceed with the approval of the EUA with the suggested language that Tony has put on the basis that if the maintenance is needed to be done and the vehicle's there, it must be removed by the owner.
Immediately, or by us.
Any obstruction or interference, yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, any obstruction.
And with regards to any settling or.
And you already got the part added, I thought, that if there's any damage going forward as a result of
No, he's added that
the
now.
driveway.
I'll beef that up, though.
Okay, yeah, that would be the owner's responsibility going forward.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll go ahead. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
You're not going to consider the overnight parking. I want that in there. For a boat, very specific, no overnight boat or trailer parking.
I don't want to do that simply because the HOA already has that in there.
So that's different than the motion that Ed made and Carol second. So if there's no further discussion, then I'm going to go ahead and call it for a vote. With no further discussion, I'll go ahead and call it for a vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose?
Aye.
Okay, 4-1.
So Tony, you'll work on that amendment and then I'll
Yeah, so
coordinate
then-
with Dave.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and move to, do we have anything for district engineer?
No.
All right, 11.
One thing on district engineer, did we get a resolution of the profiles for the country club?
They haven't signed the paperwork back to Tetra Tech, or if they did, I wasn't included on the email chain. So we're willing to give it.
Second one, sorry. Santa Luz. I've got a bunch of people over there that are getting very, very, very upset with Lennar.
Tony's
Why
got
can't-
an update on that
I'm sorry?
later. Tony has an update on that later.
Yeah, I'll wait then.
Rob Cooper, the association's attorney, sent me his comments to the latest iteration, I think last Friday or Monday. He and I had a telephone conversation Tuesday this week. And what I did, based upon our conversation, was I took the scope of work that we had sort of agreed upon between Rob and I, sent it to Chelsea to see if it fits from the district's operational perspective. And then on the agreement, Rob Cooper, the attorney for the association, and I had collaborated on a number of changes. I've made those changes today. That's what I was running a little bit late, and sent it to Rob to look at to see if he's in agreement. And I asked him to get back with me by no later than tomorrow so I could send it to the attorney for Lennar on Monday.
So
The attorney for Lennar at times has been 2 or 3 weeks with no, and now they're kind of pushing it. So we want to wrap this up. But the agreement, quite frankly, was, I'll call it very over the top. That was initially proposed by Lennar as far as what the association and the district would agree to. But the association and the district were on the same wavelength as to what we are proposing back to Lennar.
So
Are we holding a bond on Lennar?
no,
We have no bond?
we have no bond.
Okay.
So just so you all know, Tony did poke Robert Cooper a couple times.
You've been very helpful.
And then I ended up calling their president, Susan, and she did help engage their attorney to respond back to Tony. So
Yeah, we had a good, Rob and I had a good call on Tuesday. So that's what it is.
But we're back to the same thing again. The water levels are never going to be as low as they are right now. They can be getting all that work done. But what they're going to do is wait till June, the water level goes back up, and then they'll have another 6 months.
then they can pay to dewater it in the month of June.
Chelsea and I have been saying that.
That's expensive, though.
To their
It's free now.
representatives and their attorney for a year now.
Yep, so, all right.
Monument signs.
So we have some updates. So one of them fell off the list because of the location and it wouldn't fit. So you're down to 2.
Okay.
So we go to pictures, go to renderings. Here's one
Which side is the road? The left?
behind you.
That guy couldn't wear shoes?
No.
They look sad.
He's at
It's like a sidewalk to the left, and I'm assuming the road is further to the left.
No, the road's behind us. That's the entrance when you turn in, when you're going north and you turn in on the right, it's right there. Right there
You're
on the
no
right.
longer on.
Boulevard is on the left.
No, behind you. Dewey Boulevard's behind you. You're
You're
looking
in
at,
the
look at the
property.
pond. See the pond behind you?
Yeah, I see the
You're in
pond.
the property.
I'm trying to figure
That
out,
would
when
do
I
it
turn
here.
in right now, like I'm going to the pool, this is going to be on the left,
On the right.
on the
The
right.
driveway would be right on the other side of this walkway.
Go down. There's another, go down, other
What does
one.
he have in his hand?
Shoes.
Need a tan.
All right.
What's the difference between those two? I don't know.
This is the difference. That's the second one.
What is that
That's
black
ugly.
material?
Excellent question. I don't know.
Is it stone?
I'd have to find out. I don't know. We didn't get
Why would you
into.
put the
I-
hedges in front of?
I asked this,
broccoli.
listen, scroll down. I asked the same
Maintenance.
thing. I asked the same thing, but they just wanted to show it with hedges, but here you go. That's what it would look like,
Go back to number 1,
What
please.
firm is designing this?
right there on the paper.
I love how they've literally at least gave us a G on the,
So
when you see the hedge.
the concept of the stone is to be close, not exactly what the big Stony Brook Monument sign stone looks like. That way we do have some continuity.
So that's a discussion point. So if we're designing this, then we are setting a design style for monuments moving forward.
Yes.
So if we're going to mirror the Stony Brook motif and design element, that is what we would use as a baseline, either stone or this other piece
Yeah.
for any redesign, remodeling, or replacement for monument signs moving forward. That's what we should be doing
Go
here.
down to
Which
the
should be
black.
good because
What
there only
is
be
the
2 that we
material
should
that we are
focus on.
using
Hold on,
on
that's-
the new administrative building down at the bottom?
So I actually have that submittal in my review right now. Right now, it's just some, like, I have the samples in my office if you really want to see them, like a concrete, but I have the opportunity to change to this stone right now.
It's the base,
Yes,
How
to make
high
it
up?
match. It's
How high
just
up?
low. It's
Windowsill?
like,
Yeah,
Like
it's
2 feet,
like-
right?
yeah.
2 or 3 feet.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
That's gonna cost money.
if you were going to change it and make it the same stone, then I could see your point.
Design style.
Right.
What's the?
So
you
I
wouldn't
would
know.
recommend
I
that you-
think, I think it'll be cheaper instead of for the admin building, because it
No,
would be a
it's-
cost.
No, it's same cost.
Oh, same cost, okay, then I'm totally okay with it.
The cost
But
is there to
honestly,
put
I would
stone?
go back to the first one where it's got gateway at the top. And then the
Yeah, I like that.
administrative,
Next
and then the.
one.
I don't like the black.
Yeah, I like that one.
Go back,
Like
go to the one
this
above
one?
that one.
And is that,
I like
what
the
color
first
we
one
using?
because gateway
Is
is
that
at the top.
brown?
It's
gonna
like
be like
the,
this.
the
Okay,
beige color.
we're gonna color match it, or,
Yeah,
okay. It just looks like a gray and
Go back one
brown.
more
It
picture.
looks like it has a stone pattern
There,
behind
that one.
the gateway.
That one looks to me the best.
If they use that same stone then on the administrative building.
that would be the
If it
plan.
doesn't cost any more money.
Yeah,
That's a
What is the-
change
what
order
is
to
the
add, that's a
material?
lot of money.
Go to the detail. What did it say on there? Aluminum?
Aluminum,
It's like a textured, almost like a stamped.
faux stone, aluminum.
Okay.
Looks like an algae-ridden
I thought the
limestone.
same thing, I was like, this needs pressure clean before it even goes up.
So if I'm coming,
We can get parking for the guy
if
that comes to
I'm
clean it.
heading south and I'm going to turn left into the commons,
Right on the right.
it's on my right.
Yeah.
If I'm
Yes.
going north
It's on your
and
right.
turning right,
It's on your right.
Oh, you're right again.
so this is a two-sided thing.
Andy, if you want it to be. Right now, it's just facing out. So if this is the boulevard and this is my turn into the commons,
That's
Sign
not how,
is right
you
here.
want to put on Lipa on the
she's
screen?
pulling it up, but this, right
Okay.
here, right here. So right here.
Okay,
Zoom in.
is it perpendicular or parallel with the road, with Gateway Boulevard?
Parallel with the road.
Parallel with Gateway Boulevard.
Yes.
So you won't be able to see it if you're turning in from the other direction.
Unless you got the view
Why can't we
sign.
just do it this way and then make it both
If you're
sides?
coming from
You
the
can if you
north,
want. We
Doug,
can-
and you're
Make it a
turning
V.
in, you're
But why does
you're
it
gonna
have to
get
be
a
a V?
glancing
Why
view.
does
You can
of
see it from both
That's not
directions.
it.
Orientation is not an
Just have-
issue. Orientation is not an issue.
Okay, I don't think it needs to be a V, I just need I think the orientation and make it both sides.
You can do
But by the time you read it coming
way.
down,
draw.
you're gonna be past it.
I
You'll
don't
be past
know.
Hit the draw.
the entrance.
I
No,
can't
what is
see.
Are you talking about doing
Don't you
it
want it
this way?
perpendicular
Cancel.
to Gateway
Gateway
Boulevard?
Boulevard.
So
So you can see it both ways?
click,
Coming,
click
yeah.
one time. Come back
That
this
would
way.
make more sense.
If it's parallel, you won't.
No, not parallel, I want to, that's what I'm saying,
Double
like, both sides, just
Oh,
like
okay.
that, yeah, that's
Wanna
what I'm
like-
saying.
Okay.
Perpendicular,
That's
right.
what I'm saying, that's what.
Do you want it like this or you want
Yes,
it the other
like,
way?
I think like that.
Like your double click.
That's fine.
And on two sides?
Yeah, on two sides, yeah, that's what I'm
Same
saying.
same thing on both
All right,
sides.
one or two, which one?
One.
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 Okay, thank you.
So this one,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah. Design one, we're gonna change the orientation
Get
and
double
and
sided.
brand it both sides.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, last question. Do you like,
The same stone here that you're going to use on the building?
do you like the backlit of the Daniels for the,
Yes.
the logo and the thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Set.
The
lights.
gateway is backlit.
The words are backlit.
Yeah.
I've never
If
heard
you
that.
ever come in
I'm never
Daniels at
here
night.
at night. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
yes.
that's all I have.
And
And
we-
you have like
what
the-
branding do we have for the admin building? Is there any
Sign in front.
any
admin
branding
building.
that says administrative building or?
I think it is on the portico. I think there's something up top. I'd have to go back and look at the plans.
Portico?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll have to go back. We can always do that after the fact. It's,
But like, this is the style that we would use throughout the park.
yeah.
Okay,
Just
so,
want to make sure we're very clear on that.
all right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to go with this sign, which is number 1, right?
It
Page
says
one?
it's double-sided ground sign.
Okay, so we'll have this one and the orientation that Chelsea had it. I'll make-
Chelsea,
oh, Tony.
Perpendicular to.
Yes, Tony.
Can you
Perpendicular to
change
Gateway
the
Boulevard.
plans to get rid of the client as Trinity Salon and Spa?
Yes, 100%. We'll iron this out. I just needed pictures. We needed pictures. I can get the details.
Yep. The only big
I
thing we gotta
missed that.
watch, we gotta
It does
we gotta
say
Love
watch
that
here
Trinity spot.
is
It says
that the
Trinity Salon and
orientation of that
Spa.
sign's gotta make sure that when you're
I think
pulling
we got
out of
that
the
right.
Right
park,
triangle.
you can look to
They're
the.
gonna have to get a permit.
Okay,
30,000?
because you gotta be able to look
38.
south.
It
It's
is
just two-sided.
It says two-sided, double-sided.
See right there.
But I would assume it would have doubled if it wasn't.
Well,
It
not
would have
double,
been more
because you're
double, I
only-
know, but
yeah,
I'm just saying.
Not
by
two
doing-
signs, just.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
So-
you.
So do you don't need a motion? 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, if you, yes, that would be great, thank you.
I'll make a motion.
Proceed with
Sign one,
One,
double side, perpendicular,
okay.
Backlit.
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 Second.
All
With
in
the-
favor?
Aye.
There you go.
We have a sign.
27. Third page.
For us, lady.
Yeah, well, look, I can't wait until, I mean, the signs over here on Griffin and Gateway and 82 is not so bad because you can't see it. But now the ones on Daniels, and I had an issue that from day one from that vendor, it is peeling, it is
I know.
cracking. When it rains, I have never seen anything like it. When it rains, you have bubbles this big.
On the
And then
sign.
if you're parked, you can see the water shoots out, like it's shooting out, like a fountain.
Free fountain.
I sent her a video. I said, I wasn't kidding. Like, it's like peeing. Like seriously.
So now that you've decided on this, we can continue retrofitting other signs.
Retrofitting, get rid of it and put like.
Baby steps.
All right.
All right, so Carol had requested that we bring bring back the FRS discussion in either February or March, so I figured I'll just get it out of the way and bring it back right away in February. We had looked at this last year, decided that it wasn't feasible because of the cost to move to this plan. Looked at it again this year, we still don't think it's feasible to do due to the cost. There's several other factors that I looked at while I was doing it. I guess, one of the big things is that the majority of the people who participate in our current 457B plan contribute more than 3%. With the FRS plan, you can only contribute 3%, no more, no less, 3%, that's it. So that would be a negative for the people who are currently in it. I guess a positive for that is that the people who are in it now don't have to elect it, but anybody that we hire going forward doesn't have a choice. So anybody who's currently here in our current plan has a choice to say yes or no. So Chelsea and I have been talking about this. It looks like it'll cost us about $229,000 to move to FRS, which is, I think that's a lot of money.
And that's per year, correct?
That's just, well, and it can change every year because it's 3% the employee puts in. The employer match changes every year. And it has never gone
No,
down.
not going down, it's only
No.
going up.
No, it's never gone down. Right now, I think it's like 14 point something %. So there's like a total of 17 going in. The employee does 3 and the employer has to match 14. Right now, our maximum match is 5. So we have 3, 4, and 5% based on tenure. So we're not even remotely close to that. So I'll make this a little.
And the last time you surveyed, the employees didn't want it.
They did not want it. They were not interested. So what we're doing right now,
Okay.
the cost for us with our current 3 to 5, depending on tenure, is $50,000 a year. So there's not much there as compared to the $229,000 additional dollars it would cost us. The FRS is an 8-year wait to be vested. Our plan is an immediate vesting. So
What?
immediate. You're
Immediate.
vested immediately. As soon as you join, the money that we contribute belongs to the employee. There's no wait.
So there's no penalty whatsoever then by the vesting.
Correct. Yep. Whatever we match, if you join right away when you're eligible after it's the first of the month after 30 days of employment, if you only hang around for 6 months, whatever you put in, it's yours when you leave. Whatever we matched is yours. So it stays with the employee. That is not the case with the FRS. It's 8 years they have to wait before they're vested. I realize this is meant to be an incentive for tenure, but we don't have a lot of employees who stay here longer than 8 years. So I feel that there's a better way if we want to set aside $229,000 to invest in employees, I think we can find a better way to spend that money than to move to FRS.
And tenure in today's environment is like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and you have to be there 8 to
Yeah.
get the money, so that,
But in that same sense, if they transfer to a different FRS agency, they could continue counting towards that vesting
or if they
period.
transferred from an FRS
Yeah.
into ours, it does count towards it, because it goes from when you join the FRS.
So one of the
But one of the reasons why we're looking at this was, you said that in hiring, people had, some people had said to you, you know, I have FRS now, I don't
Yes.
want to lose that.
Yeah.
You, right?
No, I
So-
don't know ours.
You had difficulty maybe hiring quality people that wanted a different pension plan than what this is.
100%.
Is that still the case?
Yes, 100%. Now,
It's not come
so-
up very often.
not so much on entry-level positions, but on mid to upper management positions, 100%, yes.
That's not our target. Anyway,
But
today.
It's all or none, correct?
yes.
Yes.
And one of the alternatives that we've talked about, and staff's doing comps to see what percentage, like when I left the beach, I lost 10%. I was getting 10% that the town was putting into my retirement regardless if I matched or not. So coming here, I took a loss. But
No.
yes, when I left the beach, I was getting 10% of my salary.
We don't.
We don't do 10%. We do up to 3%.
5.
Well,
Depending on how long you're
five
here.
now, depending on tenure, because we
Yeah.
changed that just last year. But what we're doing is we're comping and seeing what other agencies do match-wise. Is 3% within the normal range, or are we high or low?
And I'm working on that.
So those employees that are doing more than the 3%.
Yep.
Putting in more than, do we match their higher amount, or do we
No.
only match 3%?
Match up to
We
a
only
point.
put-
We also
Either
have to look at
From 3 to 5, depending on how long they've been here.
We also have to look at total rewards. This is your base, your bonus, and any other benefits and incentives.
And the fact that we pay 100% of all the employee insurance as well. I mean, their life
So
insurance, the
that, I
health,
want the board
dental,
to understand,
vision.
yes, let's say in an FRS environment, in Chelsea's case, yes, you took a loss there. But if we look at your total comp today versus your existing comp there and where the Fort Myers Beach historically increases year over year, that's what we would compare. You know, if you're talking about, are you in a better place today than you would be if you were still in your position at the beach? I'm not going to answer that, but I'm saying that's what we would look at in total. Look at total rewards. There's going to be definitely targets where FRS would be an advantage to some, maybe not to all. Benefits, advantage to some, not to all. But I think what I'm seeing in today's market is people want higher base. Bonuses are nice, but bonuses are also not guaranteed in most environments. So you're looking at your base
Bonuses
and benefits.
Don't add on to your base either.
Correct.
No, yeah. So.
But what I
What
did
would
look,
it cost us if we matched what the employee put in?
it would depend
I
by
mean,
employee.
if
so-
somebody puts in 7%,
Like I do 12.
okay, if you do 12.
And right now I get a match of 4 because I've been here for 5 years. So
Okay, so what if we matched your 12?
I'd have to
Would
calculate
that
it by
be in-
employee if we did individual.
But would that be a type of incentive
How
that
much-
you could sell
I mean,
to somebody else?
6 is normally, I
I
think.
don't know if young.
I always had
Wow, I mean, I
10.
wouldn't work here.
Up to a
I'm
limit,
I always had 10.
up to a limit. Up
I
to,
don't
Incorporate.
match 12. We don't match 12. I
Match.
No, that's what I'm saying, like,
I'm not necessarily thinking about the new guys coming on. I'm thinking about somebody in a management position, you know, the
Should be attractive,
the
but can you be
public
discreet?
works director, for instance.
I hate it.
If we matched what they put in, would that be an attractive would that be something that would attract them to come aboard?
I think, let us do some comps on it. I think 3% from what I've seen, and Doug could probably weigh in on this more than I could, but 3% is fairly low.
Yes.
And probably 6% is right around the right, I've seen historically with other places. 10% was what I was accustomed to, but that's, a lot of places that's
Keep
unheard of.
wishing.
A lot,
Can you discriminate and have that based upon different classifications?
It's usually
You
10,
can,
usually.
yes.
yes.
So you could have for hourly rate people, you
Yes.
could have it up to
Yeah, you-
3%,
even with your-
5%.
even with your
And for
full-time-
management people, you could have it up
Yes,
to 10.
yeah, because even with your
That's the way
full-time,
I
you
would
you
do
can
it.
have different class
That
of
way you
bands.
keep-
Yeah.
I like
You
that idea.
you keep your good people.
And I would look
Well,
at-
no, particularly for management.
Yeah.
That you can,
An incentive.
It's a tiered structure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could,
And-
you
and-
could,
Promote longevity.
yes.
You
And
have
tiered
different
tiered
tiers
structure
for-
should work both ways. It should be your match, but then also your bonus as well.
Well, it also seemed to me that over a period of time, they would come here, we would train them, we would show them the job,
They took off.
and then they would leave and go to
That's
the
gonna be,
county or
that's,
to this, you
that's
know,
gonna be,
or whatever,
that's what we're
whatever.
gonna have.
Well,
Majority of we're
but
gonna be a
I'd like
revolving
them-
door
I'd
for
like
most
to
of our
have
positions.
something where they would think twice about it.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
but we
Yeah, it would be
went back.
great.
Thank God that kind of.
Then you go back to vesting.
Yeah. Well, no,
That's
what
the
you
other
do is
side
you
of the
increase
vesting.
you handcuff people. I mean, the only way that you can keep people is, one, if it's a fantastic place to work. Two, if you are paying, if you, not overpay, but your pay is very attractive. And most time that comes in your base. So you're gonna lock people in with your base, because when they leave,
Sure.
is the city going to be able to match their base? They might be able to come close with other incentives, but normally you are going to capture people by their base, because even bonus is not guaranteed. And you can have a great bonus structure, but it's not guaranteed, and that doesn't change
And it
people's
doesn't add
mind.
on to
Big
the
difference.
base.
Big difference.
I
You can
can
get
so-
it one year and not the next.
Carol, I think with what I've heard and what I've seen, because with our new Bamboo, with our new payroll system, without any knowledge from us or whatever, they'll spit out random questions like quarterly or every 6 months to staff, and it's all, anonymous and on who
That
submits.
one, I deleted it.
Oh, thanks, Flavia. But I think more like one of the things we've kind of talked about too that we don't really offer is like a flex work from home day, but that doesn't benefit everybody. So like talking about evaluating the different tiers of staff and what perks per se you can offer those, that's something we can evaluate for sure. But I think we need to really, we're talking about looking at our Mission Square, which is our vendor who we actually use our retirement through. Are they competitive? Are they good? Are they making smart investments for us? That we're looking at. But on top of that, we really need to evaluate our percentage match. And so I want to get some comps on that. Staff's working on that. It just came up last week. That, hey, let's contact FASD and the Florida Association of Special Districts and see what other CDDs are doing, what other municipalities around us are doing. And most are doing FRS, but if
Or
they're
like
not,
50-50,
if they're
yeah.
not, what is the comp and what vendor are they using? That's the big thing.
At least we're talking about it. That's a great thing.
So we'll do a little bit.
I mean, yeah, and I think we should look at it as the big picture. But I think this will be one of the major components in our next budget. So that's why I'd like to start early and work on the whole picture.
We'll see what that, let's say, multi-phased incentive plan is going to cost us compared to 229 or whatever the number
Well, and
is.
don't forget either, that we're probably going to have headcount increases next year, in order for us to, especially in Parks and Rec and, those areas, in order for us to have a presence and do the things we're going to, I mean, you may disagree, but I think it'll be at least 2, from my, what I would recommend. So the dollars that we look at staffing.
Part-time or full-time?
Well, I mean, I think it would be at least 2 part-time. And maybe there's conversation on, do some of those convert to full-time? I don't know. I don't know enough. I'm not close enough to it to understand the value,
Well, there's a big
except for the
difference between
benefits.
part-time and full-time.
Yeah, oh, of course. I
A
mean,
difference
it's-
with the FRS too is that our plan for retirement is only offered to full-time employees, where the FRS is available to both full and part-time employees.
Now, that's something we don't talk about, is because a lot of our benefits and our conversations are all around the full-time. But we have quite a few, I mean, we have, how many part-time positions?
4.
We have 4. And that number will probably jump to 6, or maybe, maybe there's even more appetite for that. Even contract employees, there's a lot of different things that's happening today. But it's just something for us to continue to think about as we move forward.
We've got some more homework to do, but we'll keep plugging along and we'll present back at budget time.
Anything else, Laura?
Well, if you have something to present, maybe bring it before budget time,
Of course.
you know.
Yeah,
so
we'll
that
get,
we
we'll,
can-
One of the workshops is actually on staffing, and so this would be part of the cost of staff, so.
we get it sooner, we'll bring it.
Okay.
11C we bumped, so I'm not going to do that.
Well,
I do not have anything.
okay, Tony?
That's a first.
See how fast I said Tony?
No, nothing
Yes.
more. Working with Chelsea on a number of agreements for projects we'll bring back to the board, Echelon, which used to be Garrett FS, which used to be something else.
Sentosa.
I'm sorry?
Sentosa.
Yeah, Sentosa would be coming from the standpoint of conveying utilities and easements, and working with her also on Timber Ridge Preserve. That's one that was tabled to next week, and as well as some other agreements.
I just have one quick, go ahead.
Did letter 3 satisfy the Pelican people?
Yes,
That's what I was.
Okay.
That's what I was.
And that got sent?
yes.
Okay.
I think for,
No, that's what I was gonna ask.
okay, no.
All right.
That was on the transfer of assets.
Yes.
And did we ever hear back from the county on any interest in the soccer fields or any interest on the fields?
No.
No.
So on the, I do have one other question. So I don't know if it was prior to you or not, but the apartments that were gonna go across 511, at one point, they did ask for a sliver of our preserve. I don't remember if we agreed to that or not, but I did notice, stop looking at Tony. I did
Permit's about
notice.
to expire.
I did notice that they cleared the preserve lining area. So my question was, did they clear our preserve? Did we agree to that? Because I don't remember us agreeing to it, because I believe staff was opposed to it.
Before my time.
There's,
I thought it was before your time, but yeah.
I've retrieved some of the documents to provide to Chelsea, and I don't have that agreement in front of me, but there was an agreement that was entered into with regards to what activities they could do as far as discharging off-site.
No, that's not what
into
I'm
the wetland.
asking. They asked for us, they needed us something for construction permitting, and they needed to take a small sliver, remember that?
Yeah, on the
On the
permit.
east side, on the east side.
I don't remember, no, I think it was parallel with Gateway Boulevard. And if my memory.
Back east
Yeah.
side, back east side, parallel to Gateway Boulevard at the northernmost end of their
Correct.
property.
I remember they asked for that. I remember Al was here, and I don't remember exactly the reason, but staff was opposed to it. And I don't remember they ever formally bringing that back to the board. But I did notice when I drove this week that that area was clear.
I'll check it because
As I understand it, what happened was they had a permit, and the permit was going to expire sometime in the next 60 days, and they didn't want to have to go back through it, and they're out there trying to,
South Florida permit
Trying to
and/or Army
appease the
Corps
permit.
permit.
And I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that either one, we gave them that sliver and they cleared that sliver. I don't want to be the same issue that we had on the Gateway High School with Magnolia Lakes.
I guess the question is, the area they cleared, is it on their property or is it in the Gateway?
I think it's on our property. I think there's a sliver of the here, you want to pull on the
But the
map? and I'll
district,
show you?
Lee County owns the right of way though.
No, it's not there.
It's further
If you-
north?
If you,
you
no,
can
it's
pull it
on the
up.
pond.
I thought we were done talking about maps, so I should have known better.
it's up there in that northeast corner.
Or northeast corner,
Yeah, northeast corner.
east of the building that's up there.
Far east side of their property, more northerly than from the center.
Chelsea,
And it's just a
we'll need a
sliver.
TV just dedicated to map.
Bear with me, let me,
While they're pulling that up, the developer will be attending your next board meeting. We do not have a bond on file for the assets that they are to be turning over to the district. I searched everywhere here. I asked
Developer?
KOP
I'll
Lawn.
move it over.
So
right
when we
here is my
approve, as part of a
setback.
stipulation of approval, which was, again, this was before my time, I'm trying to track down this stuff. When, one of the conditions of the approval is that they give us a bill of, not a bill of sale, a bond in the value of, based on their engineer's opinion of cost, of any assets that they will be turning over to the district, and we hold that bond. If you recall, when North Haven, when we approved North Haven, he gave us a bond. Well, then he came back later and said, hey, this is costing me a lot. I'm not planning on developing. Can we do some type of agreement that I don't have to keep renewing this bond, but I will come back to you when it's time for construction? And you all said yes. This developer is asking for the same thing. We'll be asking for the same thing. So he'll be at your next board meeting.
Okay, so the area that I'm talking about that I see clearing, it's right here.
This tree line we're
Uh-huh.
showing.
Yep, it's more of a straight line now. And because I remember that's what they asked for it.
Yeah, that's their property. There's
But
a,
that's a wetland. They should be-
correct, what I'm looking at, and I have to,
Back out a little bit.
Yeah,
there's a conservation area maintenance services agreement from February 21st of 2022. I think that's what I had sent you. And then attached to it, there's some graphics. I'm trying to pull it up real quickly with regards to various activities, and we can share it with the
I
board.
remember that.
but,
And here's,
okay, so they can have the
here's the
activity,
point.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they can do whatever they want, but they cannot touch that area because that's a protective area. It's,
There was a permitted permit from FDEP that was set to expire in March, and I'm assuming, I haven't had the chance to go dig into the details, but it was to clear this area with the approval of FDEP.
How many residents are going to go in there?
That's what I recall was the deal.
I haven't,
I think it's
21?
115 apartments.
Where'd I get 225?
Second floor.
again, bear with me, there's,
I just remember something. I don't, and I just noticed that they were clearing.
you want to, we'll look into it.
Yeah.
We can look
If
into
you
it and
can just
report
look into
back.
that, yeah.
And we haven't heard anything from the Grace Community School.
We have. They are, bless their hearts, running down an endless chain because of a defunct POA. Because
And $250,000
South
over.
Florida is requiring them, where they're trying to discharge their stormwater drainage, they have to go underneath the defunct POA's property and then try to get to and tie into pipes. The poor girl, I've been working with her for a month. Tony gave some insight, but they are back at South Florida asking, what do we do? This is a defunct POA. One of the things that we suggested was reestablish the POA and
How did
control it
Ford get the
yourself.
money? Yeah.
I'll be so happy if they do that.
So,
They threw a party, I'll
Anyway,
go.
that's where they're at. They're chasing permitting right now, so.
Did they not? Like, what about?
Oh, he sold that property, so I have no tools. He sold the entire property, it's gone.
Did Rock and
Still
Sushi
Rock
own
and
all
Sushi
that?
as well?
Yeah, because Rock and Sushi owns the lot across from Denny Grimes.
yeah,
And he
you're talking
also,
about your-
he
the
also
owner, yeah.
owns the Rock Sushi, the building, that entire building, he owned all that. He sold it last
He's
year.
talking- Okay.
Yes,
Once again, what we'll do, we'll put the agreements, I think, on the next board agenda, because part of, I'm just quickly going to this conservation area maintenance services agreement with Kyle Pallone. And it talked about a portion of the property, approximately 0.04 acres, is encumbered by a conservation easement in favor of South Florida, and the granting of the conservation, a condition of the permit. And they talked about what they could do in that conservation area and with South Florida. And
And that's what I recall. So I just don't remember exactly where, but I remember it was a small
They
little
can't
piece.
district, they can only discharge into the district stormwater system at particular locations as depicted on an exhibit. I've got the exhibit here.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Tony, I remember they wanted it to put the playground, and now it's coming to mind. They wanted to remove the trees and they removed that little sliver because they wanted it to put the playground for all the apartments on that location. That's what I recall.
You mean on their site plan?
Like right here, they want to clear all this out and here's what it's gonna be like, that's what I remember.
I think we'll include all this.
Playground and the shittiest part of it.
Oh, but it'll be caught, like, so it'll be like. right
No,
here.
I kind of
I-
remember, I remember
Let the little
this now,
kids
because
feed
that
the
was the
babies.
You remember?
transition. I think I was
Yeah.
interim during all of that.
Yeah.
I
If I-
kind of
and-
remember this. It was a
I mean,
mess.
And I
It was a
think part of the
mess.
conversation, I have to go back and look also, the developer gave the district a utility easement running along
I don't remember all
Gateway
that.
Boulevard and Griffin,
Yes.
and no
That-
cost,
Yes.
to my knowledge.
Yep, they did. When we were doing all that work with the force main and the redundant, they let us have the easement for nothing.
I just want to make sure staff is aware of it and they're not doing anything that they shouldn't be, that's it.
I noticed the activity today when I made the turn. I went,
And do we know what's going across from the 7-Eleven on 82? Where they cleared
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven on
Oh,
82?
no, not, yeah, that's the Fort Lauderdale-based company.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
You mean down there by Colonial?
On
Or
Colonial
Lee
and
Boulevard?
82, yeah, there.
Down by Lee
They're working
Boulevard?
like hell down there.
They
It
started.
Says car wash.
Or across from the 7-Eleven, the Dairy
It's
Queen?
it's
Yeah, it says
a
car
multi,
wash
no, but it's a
a sign.
multi-use, it was permitted for multi-use commercial venue. And there was a talk about Walmart going in, but now there's a talk about the Winn-Dixie closing by you and then.
Well, but that's
being
just
over
changing to
there.
Aldi.
Yeah.
It's not,
Because there's the land
Yeah.
here and then there's the land on,
Oh, they're just taking all the
on,
windows.
yeah, they're just changing the name
On
on the store, but
Colonial.
it's still there.
At the intersection, it says car wash.
Well,
I
everything
can't
says
picture
car
putting a
wash and
car wash
storage.
on that piece of property.
You're right.
It'd be an expensive car wash.
Next, anything, or where are we?
but just getting back to the property we're talking about. So the only thing that we know of is just that clearing. There's no additional.
No, they're not doing any additional.
No additional plans to break ground or any?
No,
Yeah. okay.
they just, with that permit being expired, they didn't want to have to renew it, so, and I have been emailing back and forth. Rick Berlansky is the engineer of record for
Go
that
back
project.
on this one here at the 2014 or 2011 LLC.
Coyote.
Coyote.
And they probably, if it was a South Florida permit, if it was about to expire,
Ours, that's what
they
it
don't
is.
want to apply for new permit because all the rules changed in June of 2024.
Okay,
For
which
South
they're
Florida.
not to their benefit.
Yeah, the basic review, all the requirements changed radically.
So that they don't have to go back in for a new permit, they have to, what, do something on the land? Is that?
Usually there's a time frame for which they have to commence construction
Redo it.
and or complete it. So apparently that's what's happened.
I don't think they want to go back and fight that
Either
deal
Ar-
again.
Either Army Corps and or
We're
South
asking
Florida.
about what was going across from
Permits.
7-Eleven on 82.
It's within the city. The
So
city
did
does the
I
same
I
thing.
thought I saw something where there was regulations being
Talking
considered
about
for
the-
e-bikes.
the point
Um,
part, not that one, the one
I don't,
that,
I,
All right.
I can't remember if it was at the state level.
There are some proposed revisions at the state level, but we sort of monitor them.
Yeah.
But not until like the final 2 weeks, you really find out what happens in Tallahassee because bills get changed. As Carol well knows, a lot of times they'll do strike everything except for the title and then add
Be
about 20
something
pages.
completely
Yeah,
different.
Completely different.
What I was hearing is that
Right, Carol?
the e-bikes that are over 750 cc's that are look like motorcycles, no pedals, they're going to adopt them as motorcycles and fall under the same motorcycle rules.
That's what I heard.
And
that's what I
then,
heard too,
yeah.
from that police officer. does.
yeah. So anyway, but I don't know how far along they are with that. But so you're not aware of anything being close to any.
No, I've got a couple webinars on legislative updates that we attend, like luncheon webinars. If there's anything on e-bikes, I'll circulate that.
Between that and 657, I don't think they have a clue what they're doing in Tallahassee. I don't think they have a clue.
It's called the Puzzle Palace for a reason.
What a joke.
Nothing else, Tony, okay, future board business. So, anything else? I do have a question.
That's the area I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apartments.
So there's apartments.
Mm-hmm.
So at the next
Hopefully a
meeting,
bunch of
our
children, they can
workshop is going to be with
That's 82.
Crack.
Go back to that if you would.
You guys are driving me crazy.
And put the map back up,
Put it
just real
up, take
quick.
it down, put it
Okay,
up, take it down.
while we put the mat up. Tony
One
has
more item I
something.
forgot. If we could have the board authorize setting the public hearing for March 19th,
That's what I have.
2026 for consideration of rule with regards to parking facilities and fee schedules at designated district parking facilities. If I could have a motion and a second to establish.
I'll
that
make
as a
that
hearing.
motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you. I hit it and I almost passed it. Thank you.
This is the plan for that?
Yeah.
Can you send me this?
So
I
Where
sent
is
you the
this at
link.
in that,
This is 82 in
How do
Colonial.
I get to here?
I sent you the link.
right
Zoom
across from
in.
Dairy Queen,
This is 82
Second
in
one.
Colonial.
Yes,
right across from Dairy Queen.
Yes.
That corner's
Yeah.
Yeah.
notched
Just a
back.
little bit.
Yep, it's this right here.
if you,
Everything's right here.
And what is it? What is this supposed to be?
Apartments.
Apartments.
So if you Google Lee County Development Activity Map, if you Google City of Fort Myers Development Activity Map, it's the first things that pop up and you can see what is proposed on different sites.
Go back to the overall.
I'd be happy to send anybody links.
Go back to the overall. So it's that wave at Colonial.
Purple, yeah.
That's
So
it.
click that.
So the
Click the
Alden
wave
Yards
and then
commercial
click there.
is going to be apartments.
Yes.
Well,
No.
no,
no,
go back.
the other one,
Yeah, the big
not the
pieces.
purple, the blue.
The blue
The
wave
wave.
at Colonial is the
Then now
apartments.
click.
Yeah, wave at Colonial.
As of
That's
right
not on
now,
Colonial. Okay.
It
Zoom
isn't,
in.
but that doesn't mean they name it.
Like this thing at Timber Creek, they name it Gateway Commons or whatever. It's not Gateway.
So as of right now, that Alden is just this, a fast food restaurant, and that's it.
Well, they open an ABC liquor.
On yard,
The Alden one.
Quality dining.
we don't know what fast food, right?
You could probably dig into the permit details and find out what type of fast food.
Where's this one at? Is that off
This
of
Colonial
82 or
across
off
the
of
top.
Colonial?
This Colonial across the top, and then
Here's
to the
Burger
right would be
King, here's Burger
82.
King, here's CVS, here's Colonial.
CVS would be like over here.
Okay, across the street.
Yeah, across the street, Wawa, whatever is all
That's
over
just
there.
what you need is an entrance and an exit right up there from that stoplight. Jesus, what an
Right.
idiot.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
devil
but
of a
this is
time
not in
getting
the
out of the
district. We
public
have-
shopping center
No, it's
now
not.
to go to Colonial. You got to go down the street to the light.
Well, if those people want to come out of that place, they sure as hell ain't turning left.
I don't know, when those
There's no
apartments
way
go
they're gonna
up, I
turn
want us to
left.
have
How's that?
flyers and put flyers for our soccer field in
I
there.
don't know.
They'll have to go across and get in the turn lane and make a U-turn, go back.
Yeah, but none of this is in the districts.
Nope, nope.
No.
So you have your
Parts
joint,
city, parts county.
you have your joint meeting with PrAC at the next meeting that starts at 2. They do have, I think, 3 or 4 agenda topics that they identified yesterday. I'm going to iron that out with Paul and Carrie to try to get into the details. Generally, it's,
They kind of asked for this meeting, so what are they, what's the bottom line that they,
What
they
are
want-
looking for?
what, yeah, what
They
are they
want
looking
they
for
want
from
to
us?
they want to know what our direction is and what direction that we want to give them, because they don't know if they're supposed to be focusing on rulemaking or redesigning areas that are in Gateway or asking residents for feedback on what they want. They just want to have a narrow line that we can give them and say, we want you to focus on this.
let me give you an example. One of the questions they keep asking is budget. What budget do we have to work with? And we've told them, you don't have a budget. You don't really have a budget to work with. As part of the budgeting process, you can come up with ideas and concepts and then present those in front of the board, just like with PPAC and the subcommittees, and then the board makes the final decisions. One of the things that, another item that I think there's 4 items. There's communications and direction. It's not an amphitheater. They called it like what Pelican has over there. The concert thing, pavilion, that is one, because they did come to you this year and presented that to you, but there's been no conversations or discussion about future of anything. The future of the soccer complex, which we kind of talked through parking and things. So I'm going to iron down those 3 or 4 topics with Paul and Carrie and have that succinct items for you guys to discuss during this hour.
And then what I had for today, and I was gonna put it under supervisor comments, and I guess, I don't know if we do it now or if we do it them at that time, was soccer field renovation. Like, we never decided what we want to do. Do we want to do a full, like, have staff start looking at numbers and the bond and are we gonna do a full, let's get it all done? Or are we gonna do portions of it? So that is the question that I had for today. And I think we almost need to figure it out that now, if we're going to have this conversation with them, like, on the next meeting, like, what does this board want? We kind of talk about it, and I feel like we're 50-50, like, half of us want to just go ahead and do the whole thing and, just utilize the bonds, that we already have going through that process. I know Pelican wasn't included, but then giving you guys an option to pay us however how you see fit for the small portion you pay. So I think that would be benefit for however how you want to say. Just don't give us an IOU, because we ain't thinking that. But but I think maybe that would be helpful for us to have that conversation today, even if we can agree or not, but knowing that they're going to ask us for that.
Okay, my personal opinion is that I think if you're going to put a product out on the market, and I'm not so married to the fact that this has to be soccer. I think you could, I don't know, maybe it could be football, maybe it could be rugby, maybe it could be, I don't know. There's lots of things that play on fields, lots of sports. I think you got to have a premier product. And it seems to me that we need to bite the bullet once, because when I was with Chelsea that time and she gave me a tour of all the thing, what she basically told me was it's the drainage underneath that has to be fixed. No matter what you play out there, it doesn't matter what you play, it's the drainage underneath that's going to drain it off, and you can only
The
do that,
infrastructure part of it, right? So that's
Right.
the basic of.
you can only do it right once, and that's by tearing everything up and doing it the
Well,
correct way.
do we want to start looking at PrAC like we do with the subsystems that we have at Pelican, where they control, not control, make recommendations on the budget? I mean, that's something we do right now. We look at what the pond or the pool budget is and what we got to fix and all. Whereas the subsystems at Pelican, they generate their wish list and bring it to us. So we'd be relinquishing some, possibly.
I don't know. I haven't attended a meeting, so I think I would like to go to that. I don't think this sitting committee is ready for that.
That's a big step.
So I think 2 years, I think 2 years from now,
Maybe.
if we stay, maybe. I love that direction.
But if we,
Last one.
yeah, let's
But
start
as of
nurturing in
right
that
now,
area.
right now, they just need to know, what are we doing here?
There-
Let's walk
So-
before we
yeah.
run, because we
Well,
got a lot of
absolutely, yeah,
stuff.
totally. But if they don't have a
The
vision.
I went to for PrAC,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like they were spinning their wheels.
Yes, they want it, they
Somebody
get it.
had
they
a great
need-
idea and they would present the idea and, they'd go forward with it and then nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't control the purse strings, and I say that with reservations, you're not getting anything done.
Well, one thing that might be helpful is maybe the starting point is we allot a certain amount of budget,
Discretionary, yeah.
to the committee. And it's, I'm not talking about their ability to go spend $1 million, but if we give them a certain amount, maybe there's some things that they can do that would empower them to improve existing amenities. It
And
could
to feel
be-
that they have
It
some
could be
control.
like replacing benches
Yeah.
or receptacles.
Disc golf course then.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, we'll give them, they have this amount of budget. They come back with a recommendation, and then we approve it, and then they do it. So like every year or every 2 years, they should have something that they are responsible for.
Yeah, they
bringing it to our
generated,
attention,
they made it happen.
Helping work with staff on vendor selection, execution, like, they need to own something.
So next budget season, we do,
Yeah.
in
You're right,
addition
they
to
do.
already
And the
have.
linear park might be a great starting point for them to maybe, we'll give them a budget for the linear park and they figure out a way to,
I wouldn't even limit them to that. I would give them, I mean,
All
like,
amount.
give them, and then let's see what they come up with. Maybe they come
Ramp them
up
up
with.
slowly. They may see things we don't see.
Yeah, I just give them a dollar amount.
So
Give them
that's,
50,000
they
and
feel
see.
like their volunteer time and hours are like you said, what are they doing? They're spinning their wheels.
Yeah, they need some ownership,
And they need a purpose.
some success.
so there should be things that, that they build and improve. Like, if they have their committee, they should be organizing park improvement days or, things that,
Theme days,
park,
something.
park awareness or, whatever that is. So they should be making our parks better. They should be also recommending programs.
They're working on that.
And then they should also have input into, again, recommendations on capital projects. But they should be our voice on the street. Like, what programs do we not have that we should be looking at? How are they also maybe incorporating facilities and amenities and other programs at the HOA or community level? I mean, that's always been my thing. We've got amenities in a lot of communities that are just gathering dust. Stony Brook's got a softball field that has not been used in 5 years.
Wow.
Pickleball courts and things of that nature. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Like, give them a purpose, something to do, but it's segmented in capital improvements, improving our existing programs, and then give them a project and a budget that they can manage.
Would, I don't want to get off on the side, I'm sorry, Carol. Would the softball field be available to the rest of the community, or is that at Stony Brook?
Possibly. I mean, the thing is, and the problem with Stony Brook and like other communities in the past is like, well, we pay for those, so we don't want other people coming in and using them. So, and my argument has been, so you much rather just let it sit there and not like Stony Brook used to have a softball league. We had 2 teams, I think, maybe even more, and it was a big deal in Stony Brook on Sundays. You go out there and you watch softball. Then there wasn't enough people to play. So instead of opening it up,
You all got older.
opening it up and allowing other people to come in to keep.
Just closed it.
So, and it's the same concept on the soccer league.
Who's going to maintain it?
In order for them to be able to offer residents, leagues, and quality, they have to have non-residents. Same thing in Stony Brook. If you want to have a softball league, if you can't.
Maybe they could lease it to us
You
or
can't
something.
populate it, then ask other communities. within
Lease it
Gateway
to
do
Prac and let them maintain it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Goes until
You have
we
something?
get
We
to
had an
this.
softball.
That's where it stops.
Your initial question was about the fields and should we do a big,
Should we do one
Thing-
field or should we just do the whole thing? I'm inclined to do the whole thing because what it needs before the pretty stuff is the infrastructure, which is the drainage, right?
and I agree with you on that. I think we should do the whole thing, do the drainage and improve everything. And then we take that and, because I'm assuming you're going to use bond money.
Yes,
to-
I mean,
to
that's
do
what we
it.
would, yeah. Why would
So
you?
then we would take that and amortize it over what's the
Pelican.
value, what's the life
Oh,
of fields?
Oh, the fields, okay.
15 years.
15 years? Okay, so take it and amortize it over 20 years. That, and then add in the interest, that you're gonna have to pay, add in our costs, and that's what we charge for those fields.
Yeah. Well, and and we need to get some expert
Make them
opinion
improve them,
in there
Add
because
the interest, add the maintenance every year, boom. Now you've got your cost for the
And
fields.
give that.
And that's
give-
what you market.
And then give that to Prac until Prac go find somebody that'll pay it.
There you go.
That's-
But keep in
that's
mind
your-
too,
that
that
your solves
we need
the
an
problem.
expert to tell us that it is more cost effective to do all the fields at the same time, because part of our problem is these fields were developed at different times. So there's, the subsoil is
You might
different.
not have an advantage or any ability to do that, because when you start doing drainage, it doesn't care what
Where
you
it
did
goes.
and when you did it.
Knows no
You're
boundaries.
just gonna have to fix it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Is there a benefit to doing it all at once? Because then you can regulate the,
I think you'll have to do it
yeah,
all
yeah,
at
I
once.
think.
Well,
And the only other thing, and I know
on the
we've
commons
talked about
part,
it.
That's why
We did it all
you
once, the
moved all the
infrastructure.
dirt at one time because it was more advantageous. If you're gonna move dirt, do it all once.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do drainage, put all the pipes in once.
And I'm not saying I'm in favor of this, because I could argue both sides when it comes to turf. But one of the things we have to look at when we look at generating revenue is hours of availability. And in order to generate more revenue, we either have to charge more or sell more. So if we sell more, that's more additional wear and tear on the field. So like, honestly, if you go to North Collier, there's people playing on those fields till 12 o'clock at night. Most of them are adults, which makes sense, right? They're adult leagues, there's a lot of different stuff. If we want more usage, we've got to get more hours out of that. But if we do that, that's more wear and tear. So again, not to go back, I think we've looked at turf options. It's more expensive significantly, but it does give us more hours of operating for us to generate more revenue.
It's also cooler at night.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So you're in line with, let's give staff direction to look at it, do it all at once, and that's add you as well.
I think we gotta figure out where we're going, because I'm just still sitting here, this is a joke. We haven't got a user that's willing to pay what we have set as a guideline. We don't have one.
Wait.
These two
But
people.
But there's
told
there's a
us
correction
what it
there.
is.
What we have heard from our existing leagues
Tell us how much it is.
a business
idea, remember that.
is,
Tell us what
we
it
don't,
is first.
yeah,
Well, I've looked at the numbers they've got put together, and those numbers are real. And it's without any capital assets. We're at 250% increase over what they're paying right now.
Okay.
If they would come to us and say they will commit to paying that 250%
They're
increase,
not gonna do
now.
that until you tell them exactly.
And the parents are not gonna
That's
do
what-
that
that's what
until
we're
they
telling
tell
In
them
other words,
to do
that
it.
piece of ground rents for X number of dollars,
And we're ready.
period.
We
Whether
have,
they want it or not.
we have
Yeah.
the data to tell that number right now. We have that number. It's 250% in the subject
Okay.
of what we're paying. If
And
they're-
then they'll go back and figure out what they're gonna
if-
do.
If they're willing to pay that, I would then take and bring in the capital and say, we're willing to do this. But if they're not willing to pay it, we gotta find a substitute. Who's chasing a substitute right now? Because they sat there at that last meeting and just basically said, we can't afford to do what you're talking about.
well, I think the plan is,
then
once we
what
come
are
up
they
with a
gonna
number, we give them first right of refusal. Can you meet this? And if not, we go out to bid.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I do before I do anything on
and
any
then we figure it out.
expenses. No
And for
capital until you
the
know.
number of teams and all those sort of things, and I'm not just saying kids, I'm saying adults and whatever, they're looking for fields.
Yeah.
And there will be somebody who will pay.
There is,
If you
there
give them
there
a
is a
good
big
product,
opportunity.
they'll
That's
pay.
what I think. I think we have an opportunity there. And again, you know, if they choose not to utilize this facility, they're going to move somewhere else. They have to take in consideration, and I don't necessarily care about their business. We have our plate full with our district, but they're going to have to relocate all those children. Do you know what the next the next closest soccer field? They're nowhere near close. And they may lose half of the participants just by moving. So they may just, we don't know until we tell them, and then they have the right to say yes or no.
And again, you guys know my position. I've got kids that have played out there. I don't want to price the leagues out, but at the same time, I want to keep our facilities. I want to have good facilities for future generations and to continue to attract families
And I
to
think
Gateway.
they understood that. I think it was a big, I could see the room, the intent was, let's just be opposed to parking. And it came to the point that said, okay, we'll be opposed to parking, but somebody's gonna pick up the bill and it's not gonna be us. It's gonna be you.
You can't say that.
So then it's
you
like,
can't say
okay,
that-
let's do parking
yeah,
then.
You can't say that $2 an hour is going to price someone out of the leagues and you're charging $200.
So you're at,
That
you're at
dog won't hunt. as Mr.
$1.2
Sanford
million
said.
for natural turf. You can bet your bottom dollar you're going to double, if not triple that for artificial. What we've seen is natural is the way to go. Obviously, we've milked 30 years out of this sod, and I'm Doug, you probably speak to it better than I can. Most of those years, the turf was not what it is
It's
today.
the way to go on only one reason, and that is if you maintain it.
Yes.
If you don't maintain
100%.
it, it is not the way to go.
Well,
100%.
but also think about this too. You look at North Collier and a lot of the facilities that have multiple fields, they're splitting them. They're doing half their fields turf and half natural grass.
You're doing $3 million per one of the big fields, which is double your budget on natural. So they're complaining about O&M costs now, complaining about capital cost. So it is strictly.
But there's a big difference. The capital cost, I can bond debt retire.
Yes.
I can move it out 20 years.
Yes.
Operation and maintenance
O&M,
costs
yeah.
is all the time.
Yeah. Well,
All
and
the
that's where-
time. And inflationary. I mean, it's just,
Well,
I would
and-
take it, if we were going real serious and we want to do this long time thinking, I'd go AstroTurf right now. Be done with it right now.
Because what's the
O&M
O&M on
Take
turf?
inflation of O&M and all that
Phenomenal.
off the table. If you're going to go on the basis that you want to make that place a deal ongoing for 20 years. If you're not going to do that, or you're not going to be able to get the people or customers that are going to pay for it, then stay with turf and let the thing fall apart. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But when we went to the deal of going from, and the shocking news was learning that the use was not what we thought it was, where maybe 50/50
30%,
and
yeah.
25/75. Boy, we get that out on the streets in the community, then we will hear it from the public.
Well, but here's the difference too. If I'm asking the residents to pay 75%, 50, 75%, then I expect there to be a value and a benefit to the residents. If I'm not asking the residents to pay that much, then it's a matter of how much revenue can we generate, whether it's resident or non-resident, as a potential, right? So, and then it's just an added value of having the leagues. We're not reliant solely on Gateway residents and to provide a value.
I'd like to know who,
And
because
then you're maximizing your asset.
Then you're maximizing your assets.
I'd like to know more about your thought that there are people who will pay. Who are those people and how do we attract them?
Yeah.
We should be talking to them right now in the event that these two
Well, we have.
don't come to the table.
We've had proposals in the past for.
I haven't heard anybody say
Yeah. Remember,
that they
a
come
couple
to the
years
table.
ago, we had Florida West FC
And
came
then we had a
through.
guy from Argentina that came, I remember that it was a professional league that he wanted to use.
Well, and
this.
we haven't even tapped into any of the
He
adult
was
leagues.
willing to put in some money to fix it, like
That's what I
ahead
think we
of
need to do.
anything.
Well, right now, in
Well,
the
it seems
past,
like all these things have associations.
But-
I think if you just kind of put out the word that we're we're looking to improve an asset that we have, and
We're looking for long-term partners.
people, long-term partners to do it. And this is the formula that we're going to use, and this is how much it's going to cost you to do it.
That's what they're going to want to know.
Right.
What's it going to cost me to
What's
do
it's
it?
going to cost me?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to figure out.
And in
first.
some of those instances, there's kind of two paths you're going to go down. You're going to find, like what North Collier does, basically, it's like what we do, but you rent those fields. You pick the dates, and if you're a league, you go and you sign up for what dates you need them, and they're yours, practice, whatever. So it's kind of ad hoc first, self-serve. The other is you have an entity that wants to completely
Control the
manage and
complex.
operate, and they're sole proprietors, and if they want to resell, they can, but they want complete control of the total asset. I don't know if, I don't know if those individuals that maybe are capable of covering our cost in its entirety, maybe, I don't know.
Well, will they do?
But we have had examples of
Will
where
they do a
that's.
multi-year contract? Because if we're talking assets, $2-3 million, we got to have some guarantee that somebody just not going to come in here for
Not
2
1 year
years
and
and
done,
stiff us
right.
for 18 years.
No,
on the
it
bill.
would have to be a multi-year contract, but also in those instances, what you would get is probably a single use. You would have a soccer program, you'd have a football program, that's all they're going to do. So you're going to lose having men's adult leagues or flag and, soccer and,
So, and one of the concepts could be, just like we do with everything else, we could pilot one field. One field is about a little over $200,000 to totally redo with natural turf. And kind of to your point, maybe that's one of the half that we do in natural.
That's all the one they're gonna wanna rent.
But that's okay, because that we charge the higher number on that field, the higher rate on that field. So if it's 250% of what we
You
do
mean
now.
if you go with something like AstroTurf?
No.
That's what I would do. If you're going to do one field, I would pick one and and turf
Well,
that thing out.
so there's that option too. But so then
And see if people would charge the premium for
then the
turf
remaining fields stay at covering our cost at the O&M cost at, whatever percentage you guys choose. But if they want to play on the premium field, they're going to pay 250% on top of whatever our current rate is. And then you do it and you see what you get for a year. And maybe you get everybody who wants to be on field 2, and that prompts you to do field 4.
But before you commit to that, you got to commit to a long-term deal.
The drainage first.
Well, we need to talk to an expert about
The
it.
drainage, and to do the drainage, you have to rip everything out.
What type of expert are you looking for? Because it's what it sounds, if you're asking for construction, that's easy. I can get JSM here at the next meeting. But if you're asking for a contract of a guy who manages the complex, you put it out to bid and that's it. That's the only way we can do that. So it's.
You mean to basically pass it on to somebody else to manage the deal?
Yeah.
And
But-
let them come in and bid on it.
You put it out to bid, it goes to the highest bidder, and it could be all soccer, it could be all, it could be all football, it could be play it again, or not play it again, I-9 Sports that wants to rent the entire facility, and they control, and everything's through them. You lose Mark Allison, you lose Tim Miller, and everything would be through I-9 Sports, and I-9 Sports cuts us a check.
Bring in I-9 Sports, let's talk to them.
We have to put it out to bid.
Why do we want to change? We have to put it out to bid, but it doesn't say we have to put it out to bid to talk.
No.
We can talk them into them and say, what are you looking at? Are we looking at a 10-year deal, a 5-year deal, 20-year deal?
Well, if you're going to
And
offer
then-
that, you offer it to all of
And
them.
then what is the price that you're willing to do? And to what extent are you willing to participate on capital investment? Just ask them those questions. They come back and it's no.
I mean, I can do
You
that
got
in an
your
email. I can do that in an email tomorrow.
If I was them, I'll be like, the lowest are you willing to take? The lowest are you willing to take? And none, and zero.
It's like going into a car
It's
dealer.
asking, it's doing the same thing, like, we're doing this for a new person, but we're not doing this for the
But
people
again,
that we have.
If they're doing it someplace else, then they know the numbers.
There's a philosophical position that we need to take. Are we trying to enhance our facilities to maximize the investment, or are we trying to maximize the programs and offerings to our community? And we have to be careful, because we may get in a position where we can't have both. we can make improvements, so we can cover those costs, but it might be single use and is out of our hands.
To your point, or
Me personally, I want to maximize the asset.
And maximize what?
Maximize the asset.
Give it a good product and
With,
to have them
with
pay
minimal
for the-
impact to the resident, financial impact to the residents. I think that's,
No
yeah,
impact to
yeah,
the residents.
right.
They're not having to pay for it. They're not having to subsidize it.
I don't think that even begins to exist.
I
I don't
don't,
think you're gonna find
I
somebody.
don't think
mean-
you're gonna find out. I
Ask
don't
and
think,
you don't go
yeah.
out there and try.
Well, I don't say, well, that's why I was saying, bring the I-9 in or whatever their name is, bring them in and say, tell just what you just said. This is what we want. Now, what does it take to do that?
Ed, I did that with all of the leagues a month ago, and I said, this is where we have to get, and I need ideas on how to get there. Are you open? The only person I heard response back was from Tim Miller. I went to all 5 leagues that we have
And
that out here.
what's their response?
No,
Sell
nothing.
banners,
Huh?
sell banners.
we can't leave that in their hands.
You can
Yeah.
imagine
So
10,000
what?
banners, banners?
Oh, jeez.
Can you
So
imagine?
if I can remind you, 3 years ago, we had the same conversation, and this board decided that our fields were worth X, and that's what we put it out. Since then, we had a new league come on board. We actually had two leagues come on board. You drive
It's every
this
year,
ship.
we unfortunately, I know we partner with them and I know we work together, but every time we try to raise, every time we try to do anything, there's always, you're gonna lose this. And you know what? If we lose it, we lose
Bye.
it. Yeah, I come to this point, like, if that's what it
That's
is,
why,
then it'll be.
We're trying to put a round peg in a square hole. It's
Okay,
just
so
the money,
that-
they're telling us, and we're not
Can you
listening,
bring those
they don't
figures
have the
back
money.
to us next meeting?
Absolutely. We can talk about them again. Laura's already got them printed
The
and
goal is
ready to.
maximizing the asset. And what is it gonna cost us to
And
do that?
I do, while I love to say 100%, but when I did research last month or so, what is the average? And average is actually 70-30. Like, I haven't found anything that they actually get 100% paid by the users. You know, the majority of parks are 70% paid by the users, 30%. So, I mean,
Is that public, private? Because,
it was all, when I was looking
yeah,
at it.
because
it
most
was like-
county, you're
That's-
nowhere even near that. They operate at a
Yeah.
loss most of
Yeah,
the time.
most of it, so like, that was like the top, like 70% and then 30. So 100 would be great.
I
but
can tell you on the programmings that Carrie's looked at to bring instructors on, like instructor split costs, it's a 70-30 split.
The majority of what I saw was that, a few rules.
With 30% being to us, not
Yeah.
70%.
Yeah, that.
So that, part of all of this is, we have a facility that we can continue to milk, or we can rip the Band-Aid off. We can do one field, we can do all fields. And there are different avenues of funding through bond, through a bank loan. If you're trying to extend it out as long as you can, the bond is the way to go, because you get it's a 20-year borrowing based on the validation that was done. We have available funding in the validation, but if you're looking for a guarantee, the only guarantee you're going to get is whatever you can put in a contract, and however long the out clause is, that the guy will sign off on it, that he agrees to it.
I just think that because it's not an aesthetic thing, that we have to touch the base, which is the drainage. Have to do it all at once and then go for the 20 years. Because if it was just a bad turf, but if it was just like the top layer, then yes, let's do half and then do the other half. But because you have to go literally physically visualize getting the bottom ready to do the other side. I mean, we don't even know if we do,
They're all different.
if we do half, and then suddenly because we didn't do this, we calculated drainage of the new field to be here, but then now, because we didn't do this is gonna flood this side. I mean, it's just not, it doesn't make sense.
Well, the thing about the drainage is it's totally dependent on what you're going to put on it. If you're going to put AstroTurf, you're going to have a very
Whole system.
impermeable surface, which means you're going to get rapid runoff, which means you're going to have a lot bigger drainage problem.
No, they make a drain field underneath it. They design and construct drain fields
Or
underneath
that,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
or you do that. Whereas with the turf, you're going to get some.
Grade.
I'm sorry.
You're going to grade it, right?
Yeah, you're going to grade it, but you're also going to get some percolation. Whereas on AstroTurf, you're going to get you don't want any percolation on AstroTurf except into a drainage system. So how you're going to build or what you're going to build is going to impact how big your drainage problem is.
You can't swallow $1.2 million. You're not going to swallow $3 million on
That's what
artificial.
I'm saying. I don't think AstroTurf is something that I would have looked into it.
I don't think 1.2 million will touch it, but that's a different story.
Pricing from JSM based on the county contract is $200,000 per field. And we did ask them if you did the full drainage, what it would be, and it would be just,
This was turf,
Sod,
not,
that's sod, right?
that's sod. Yeah, okay.
so it would be, if you wanted to do the drainage, they gave us the number, it's about 1.2 mil.
For sod and drainage and complete
And irrigation, yes.
1.2. It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
that's
actually.
what I'm saying, 20 years, that's why I do it all, just because, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't have at all with turf or with natural turf. You just, you don't water it. Don't have to.
So you,
Don't cut it. So you don't have to cut.
No, I'm talking about if you go AstroTurf, you don't have to irrigate it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
so when do we have
All
to
of
do
that
the
goes
dump,
with
because
waste.
we don't have enough storage here, then we can't use it. Forgot about that, right?
Like I
Now, that's
say,
on the appeal easement.
Yeah.
we need to know our client as to what we need to do and what their commitment is for long-term. Because if, again, we start talking 10, 15, 20-year bonds, the last thing I want to do is end up with $2-3 million bond with a 20-year payment schedule, and we have no customer after 2 years.
If you build it, they will come.
I heard that shit before.
Look at North Collier.
All right, let's roll.
Okay.
Any
So you
comments?
good?
No, I don't have,
Okay, so I guess, do you want to know direction? Do we want to go to the whole thing and bring us the information for that, or you want to do partial? So I'm inclined to do the whole thing because of mainly is the
I think it's-
drainage.
You
the
can always
DD
scale
drain.
back, I think.
Yeah, so I'm inclined to go to the whole thing. You, same?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Bob?
He's indifferent.
Carol?
Yes.
I don't care, it doesn't make any difference.
Okay,
My
and
thing
Bob?
is that I just
I
want to
don't
make sure
care.
we get the facts as
Okay,
quick as we
so
can
3 yes, so
to
then
our
we go with it.
potential customers.
Okay.
Because if they're not going to
Don't
accept
bargaining
the
votes,
facts,
though.
we go back to the drawing board.
We're
We
gonna
don't have a
all the-
customer.
All the votes.
Okay, so the
they
direction
don't
is
help
to
you.
go ahead for the
The
whole thing.
RV bookstores.
to
numbers
solicit
you've got.
proposals?
The
Or,
whole thing.
okay,
O&M and capital.
present the numbers at the next meeting for the whole thing.
If you have it. Yeah,
Yep,
okay.
okay.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Chelsea on the agenda management?
No.
I don't. Nothing else? Supervisor comment, Bob?
What's the status of Fibber McGee's closet and putting everything on microfiche?
Fibber McGee's closet's pretty much cleared. We're slowly sending them off, maps and documents off to get scanned and sent back if Tony'd stop bringing me more.
That's why I brought you another one.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to go up, I'll take you up after. We can run up there real quick and I'll show you it.
No, I'm more interested in seeing the data
Yeah.
when it's,
Yep.
available.
We're
Okay.
getting it in data, then we just got a deliverable last week, so Austin's data dumping it onto our server, and then it's available for search.
And last but not least, is this the last Solaro easement I'm going to
Yes.
see?
Yes,
So I can take this one and get it signed?
yes.
Thank you.
Last one this week.
No.
You got till tomorrow. Get it signed quick.
Done.
What's the current completion date for the admin building?
Final completion is August.
And then for phase 1 of the park,
It's all at the same time.
everything's
Everything's
August?
at the same time.
Okay. And did you make adjustments,
Mine's the 10th. It'll be a birthday present, yes.
you make adjustments to the grass treatment for that one?
I'm waiting
one
on
area?
proposals from them. They said it really shouldn't be a big cost difference. The only added cost may be to add the irrigation for the bigger, over by the pond area to make everything zoysia, because otherwise it'll creep onto one another. So
Yeah, they will take over.
I'm waiting on pricing from them.
So what Chelsea and I talking about is if you look at the plan, if you guys have been out there, there's the area over by the pond in the back that is not being touched. That's, that's not in this current phase.
You mean like the dog park area?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
What was going to be the dog park
Yeah.
area?
so,
I'll draw where it's at.
she gets there.
Going north.
So basically, right now, there's, the fence is here. runs basically along this and it comes out like here. So everything over all of this is part of the project. We're talking about having them clear. They've already got the equipment there, either killing or whatever they have to do and making the rest of this zoysia. Otherwise, this will creep. This bahia will creep onto the zoysia.
And not only that, who knows when phase 2, when we'll approve that or what will ever happen. So if we do nothing, at least if we have the same type of grass, like a zoysia, something that looks nice, that all still becomes working park area. It's free, open plan, and it looks good. If we don't do anything, it's going to be a sand lot over there, and it's going to look like shit, and it's going to diminish the overall, I think.
Who's our mower?
Mainscape right now.
Do they have the ability to cut zoysia?
I'd have to ask.
Different equipment?
We would amend our contract to include
That's
it.
basically golf course type grass.
Yeah, we'd have to amend our, either way, we're gonna have to amend our contract to incorporate all of this area once it's
The other thing
completed.
is that zoysia goes brown in the wintertime.
Yeah. So the idea is, look, if it's minimal effort, minimal cost, let's just use the same proper grass throughout. And then when we're done with phase 1, at least we have a full park area
So let me be,
for free play and whatever else.
let me be clear. The cost differential is nominal if zilch for going from Palmetto to Zoysia. This south of that red line would be an added cost.
Yeah.
So I just want to be, I'm waiting on those numbers to bring to you for your
No, I
review.
understand.
Avoid the staging, everything will be there.
Exactly.
In other words, it's not in the budget at all.
Correct. So, and I've already talked to the guy, he could throw in some rotors. It's nothing but a little bit more pipe and some rotors to irrigate all of that area because it's not currently irrigated. So while it's there, just hit it.
And that at least opens up, even if we have events or concerts, we could just, you can just pull a trailer, a portable stage, and you can use that whole area,
Yep.
so that we still get use out of it as opposed to it just being really bad grass and an eyesore.
Ant hills.
Fire ants.
Fire ants.
All right, so I don't have anything. Actually, I do have anything. But go ahead, Carol.
Yes, Tony.
Yes, ma'am.
The ordinance that we passed a couple years ago to create PPAC and the subcommittees,
Yes.
is it possible that we could amend that to, we have 3 subcommittees that report to PPAC. And at the last landscape subcommittee meeting, they did not have a quorum because somebody had to go to the emergency room that morning, one of the members who was going to be there. It would, that if there were a PPAC member physically present at the meeting, that we could amend it so that they could become a member pro tem of the meeting for purposes of a quorum. Because they report to, it couldn't be Bob or I that's on, or anybody that's on this board, but that's an advisory board to this board. Is it possible that you could have?
A filler? Like somebody that will fill in?
To make, for purposes of a quorum.
The problem I see with that, though, is once they are a member, even for that meeting of that subcommittee, they will fully participate, so that thereafter they could not have any communications with any subcommittee members except at a subcommittee meeting. They couldn't talk to them about any district business, because technically they would be a member, even though it might be fleeting for a day. I don't want anybody saying they're trying to get around the sunshine law.
How would you
So,
vote them
Tony, I
in, or
have-
how do you qualify them?
Yeah, I have a question. Does that, because the HOA runs different, so
You
for
got
us,
liaisons.
we have to just create a quorum, and during the meeting, if we lose the quorum, it does not matter. That vote is counted as a no vote, but you don't lose the
It
quorum.
does matter.
So does that matter for,
Yes.
because for an HOA, you have 5 city members, you get 3, 10 minutes into, you lose 1, you continue. That one is always a no vote, but you can continue your meeting. So I wanted to know if for the subcommittee, would it be like that, or is it like us?
We
It's
lose
like
it.
us,
Have to have
physical, yeah.
physical
Yes.
quorum present there
Okay.
at the meeting to be able to vote on anything.
Or if it's emergency, they need to have the quorum established, first of all. That's always the
Have to
problem.
have the physical. So, and what an alternative could be though, Carol, is we can reduce the number of members on the committee. We can have it a 3-person committee instead of a 5 or a 7. The board could choose to do that. And then be cognizant of your snowbirds when you're choosing your members to the committee. So that's an alternative.
Yeah.
It's gotten a
This
lot
wasn't a
better.
matter
It's
of,
gotten a lot better. They've been
oh,
getting-
it has.
Yeah,
I have
I'm just saying, but
yeah, that was a good
on the
idea.
rare instance where, I mean, physically there, you had 3 members of PPAC sitting in the
Marty, Ed,
audience.
and
And they still can't do, I mean, that's where the recommendation is going to come to, is to PPAC. If
almost
there's
had
any
a feedback
votes.
for
Actually, they did, almost have a PPAC quorum. But there's nothing like that that
I've
we could
not
do.
heard of that, I'm not
Is it
aware of that.
Daniels?
Again, I would be concerned about the sunshine law. I mean, I guess.
Well, you're the only
Employee
one.
recognition.
Well, could you look into it and see if there's
Yes.
some way that we could have a member pro tem just for that meeting?
Yeah, but the problem is, would be the individual who's sitting on the committee, but also be pro tem on the subcommittee. That's where I run into the problem. Because then when they take off their subcommittee pro tem hat, the next regular meeting, they're a member of the committee. I mean, it's just,
Right.
so I'm
Well, and
not.
if they're voting on something as the subcommittee, that's going to
and-
go
and
in front of
committee
the,
member, Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll check into that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chelsea, anything else? Carol, anything else? No.
I'm
Chelsea has
sorry,
something.
I failed. I have one employee recognition. It's actually one employee recognizing another employee. So it was Vicky recognizing Leslie. And I have to echo all of these sentiments that Vicky, but I'll just skim through them really quick. She's gone above and beyond, and she identified just a few areas of the things that Leslie has done and tackled. We had Zenner warranty return equipment. We had a big push before 12/31 of the last day of last year, because that was when our 100% warranty expired. Replacement received and inventorying that. She's led and assisted in the pilot meter testing. She single-handedly handled the conversion of our koozie system to get into compliance, and we converted to UB4. So that is a new billing software system. She single-handedly tackled that. She does multiple reports and captures manual reads and oversees 3 meter techs. And lastly, her patience, I'm tearing up reading this. Her patience, unlimited patience, and as her employee, it is a pleasure to work for her. Tearing up.
Very nice.
Very nice.
All
Thank
for
you.
Leslie? All for
Yes.
Leslie?
Yes.
From Vicky.
From Vicky and Chelsea.
It's a
I
big one.
Wonderful asset.
Yes.
wonderful.
Well,
Would
just
hate to
let her
lose
know.
her.
I echo that too. I mean, Leslie's fantastic.
She is one of a kind.
I don't think she'll ever want to hear about a water meter as long as she lives.
We are all looking forward to this
Conversion.
new system. So
And then we all received a letter regarding Dennis Preserve and that meter, right, with the email? You all guys read it?
Email about why the
the
costs are
water.
so high.
She's contesting the water bill. It may be coming in front of you at the next meeting.
Okay.
I'm hoping to meet with her soon.
We'll deal with that at the next meeting.
And then I had a conversation with Chelsea about it, and I think it would be beneficial for you to have a one-on-one and kind of really truly explaining to the board what happened.
If it's going to come in front of you all, I will have individual conversations.
And I think it
What
should.
was the issue? Another leak?
No, just catch up on reads.
What?
Catch up on reads. So
Yeah, so I think it'll be beneficial to each of us have a conversation with Chelsea if absolutely,
comes to
regardless,
fruition,
I think it is because
yes,
it's a
given the
learning thing.
circumstances.
All right, so with nothing else, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting.
Thank you.
So moved.
All right.
So we're on for the
Signature.
19th?